Inside at last.
Welcome, fellow Taffers, to Inside at Last, the one and only thief-dedicated podcast. My name is Alex, and finally we are back as the boy group you know. Next and Psychosis are here with me, without a guest, without anything special. It's just us. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Hasn't been like this for a while.
For half a year, I think. Yeah. So it's last time was amazing. You guys weren't there in the whole episode. That was great. But this time I think I can take it. And I'm really looking forward to our today's topic because it's not a mission. It's many missions. Woohoo! Because tomorrow, from the day we record that, tomorrow I hate that name. Thief to the Metal Age 20th anniversary contest will end. Today we played all of the missions. We didn't finish all of them maybe, but we played all of them to get an impression, and we want to talk about our thoughts about every individual mission and what we think are the most outstanding. But before we start, Psychosis, you as an author, please give us a little overview of the rules of the contest. What is this all about?
Right. So it's obviously for Thief 2's 20th anniversary. So it actually kicked off last year on the 19th anniversary. So from that date until the 20th anniversary, so 1 year, you had to create a mission, and there was a lot of restrictions, but the main restriction was you pretty much had to use only stock-derived resources. So what that means is no like importing textures, HD res, whatever you want. No custom objects. It all has to be like if you installed Thief 2 base Drawmed install, that's the only items you could use. And that's pretty much it.
And
that was it.
How's that for you? Like, was it? Is it a tough one or not?
Well,
we will talk about that at the end again. Go
sure.
more into that, but just for you, that people can get maybe an opinion. Like, okay, what would have been like?
It was definitely, it made it easier actually, because I didn't have to contemplate like all these textures and objects I wanted to use, and it's just like, you know what, just make do with what I had, and I just focused on instead like the actual level layout instead.
Okay,
which made it a lot better for me.
Okay, that's very interesting.
As a first-time author too, yeah.
If any of the authors are listening, maybe you can post your opinion on that on the forums as well, because that would really interest me. What other authors, if they think the same, or maybe there's a difference, like from very experienced authors, that they say, "Oh, I can do all of this, but I couldn't this time." It will be interesting, but we will talk about that at the end again. We don't want to waste so much time, and we thought we go in order of the voting page, because they are listed, I think, in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
And we thought we go after that, so we don't have to figure out a complicated system. And we start with Feast of Pilgrim, and we know the authors of that. It's Marbleman and Random Taffer. Psychosis, please tell us, what are your thoughts on the mission, and what was your rating, and why, and what, and blah.
So I believe it's a prologue, or not a prologue. It's like a prequel. That's what it is. To his Godbreaker campaign, Random Taffers. So I think the mission's fantastic. It like, if I had to give like a sentence to sell it to someone, I would just say it's like Life of the Party on steroids. Like, or the city part at least of Life of the Party. I think it's one of those, like, a lot of Thieves Highway missions kind of feel a bit boring to me, but this one is like every building, the layout like is fantastic. The layouts are really interesting and fun to work my way through, and it has a really good flow, so that like you never hit a dead end and then have to backtrack. And the story is actually really, really great too. All the little I believe you're infiltrating a cathedral.
St. Ives Cathedral there.
Yeah, while a like a big sermon is going on. You could actually hear like the head priest giving it in one of the hallways, I believe. Like you could overhear him.
I think it's a couple. I found one from the base and one from the side, and the sermon inside is just amazing.
You hear him like, "Oh, we shall smite the heathens." You know, he's like trying to rally the troops, pretty much. And it's oh my god, I love this mission. It's really good.
Do you guys is that Psychosis? You know more about Thief 1 and Thief 2 voice recordings that already exist. Is that something that was already put together as a whole in the previous? Or is it like
the sermon? Yeah. I believe I'd have to ask him again, but I believe he just jumbled a bunch of lines from the original Thief, like Hammerites. Yeah. So he just like he mixed them together in like like a audio program and had it like make a believable sounding sermon, and it was really actually great.
I spent a lot of time there, and it has to be real long because I must have been there.
I think
for
it's about 6 minutes.
Okay, that makes sense. Because it felt like I was there for 5 minutes and it still didn't loop around. I was like, okay, now I'm kind of I have to go on, right? You know the expression "daylight's burning."
Yeah.
Is there an expression, for thieves?
What do you mean?
Yeah, because I'm asking too.
What do you mean?
What is wrong with you?
Because you can't say like the daylight's burning, right? The thief obviously works in the night, so is the moonlight's burning?
Time is money. I don't know.
Time is money. Okay, there's no equivalent expression, but yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Actually, really, great start. No, really, but what are you talking about? What is it all about?
Well, since I spent so much time at the door where you can hear the sermon, and it clicked. I can't just stay here and enjoy the sermon, right? Because the sun's gonna get up, right? I need to get to work. And the expression for when the sun's up is appropriate, but not really here. And I wish there was one.
Okay,
but moving on.
But thanks for sharing your thoughts.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I will totally agree with you, Psychosis. For once, that this is an amazing mission, and I'm sad that we already are talking about it, but because it's my highlight of the contest, and I have to tell you, like, when I started the mission, I wasn't aware really, like, this is Randy Taffers, okay, but I didn't expect, I had no expectation. Let's say it like that. I was just going in there, no matter who made it, and you start on that little. Is it a little balcony or stuff? And then you look at that road. It's like, as you explained, a Thief's Highway mission. And then you walk on that little ledge. And then you come to a corner where you can go left and right. Mm-hmm. And at that moment, I had a feeling like that I didn't have, in my opinion, in years. Like, I looked at everything around, and there's not much. It's just some walls, windows, and you can see the streets. But this felt perfectly like Thief 2, the whole distances between the building and the heights and the texturing and the window sizes and everything screamed Thief 2 at me. And this was, a bit of what I hoped for the contest, that most people will adapt to this idea. But they nailed it. And I just realized in that moment, like, hey, so many authors have done so many great rooftop missions, but I think none of them came as close as this mission. And because this feeling I had at the start was going through the whole mission, like every place felt Thief 2 original with the knowledge from today. And as you said, it wasn't boring. I think the gameplay, the whole flow is amazing. you have I can still remember the map in my head. I would still and I played it in March when it was released, and I could still get an idea of where to go no matter where I am. You have landmarks. To the story, I will come later, but all those little details, like you just mentioned, that that ceremony, you can just hear, you can't see it, it's just hearable, but it gives so much atmosphere and gives so much. It's believable, and I just love that mission. It's pretty long, actually.
Mm-hmm. It's probably it's up there. It's one of the longer missions in the contest.
I played 2.5, I think. So, and I'm a fast guy, but and of course everybody was sleeping at the end. But one thing I didn't mention at the beginning: spoiler alerts for the whole episode. So if you didn't play all the missions from the contest, please do that before you listen to us. No, but this mission is so amazing, and it has some nice Easter eggs.
A lot of Easter eggs.
A lot, and some amazing ones, but we don't go into that. I love it. It's so great. Randy Taffer and Marbleman, amazingly done. I gave it a 10-10-6 in story, because that was the only thing I didn't like, because this mission screams Thief 2, and then you don't play as Garrett. That's like
it's a ballsy move,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know that you are friends in private life, and you walk around valleys with your hands together, even in Corona times. But of course, it wasn't bad, But it was always taking me out of that. Oh, I'm a little boy. I'm playing thief. And then it's like, the comment out of your head. And that is, But, next, what is your opinion on that mission?
Well, I have to say I loved it. The voice actor didn't bother me, because since I love the Godbreaker, it was always a reminder. However, the the resources restrictions kind of didn't the look of the mission didn't match the Godbreaker, so I had to kind of get over that. Also, the start that you mentioned, that was one of the worst things for me in the mission. I'll say, the mission does scream Thief 2, but just the start alone was. That patrolling guard, where you have to get by, there's no way of going around, and then you have to enter the apartment where a guy is alive. I was like, it's not the sleekest way to introduce me to a mission, but I knocked up. I knocked out the guy inside, and then from then on, it was just amazing. I loved the puzzles. The cathedral itself was very nice. A few jokes here and there. Very good. I thought that a couple of sections could use some more work. Like the east side. East side felt like, especially where the I think it's like a factory or
factory,
sort of. Yeah, that area was like, that could be a little bit more, maybe a few ways around it.
That was my main issue too. Is I felt a lot, because I believe he hit the resource or the object and like brush limits and all that, and I think he had to cut some corners in some areas, and that's the only thing I took away from it.
That's interesting, because I actually liked that area a lot, because of it felt a bit limited, like Thief 2, as we know from the episode with Pura, that now you have a cell count from 7 million. But that I liked it, because it brought me a bit back to that time. And so I could, I totally see your point. Yes, this area is a bit different in comparison to the rest, and especially because it's mainly maybe the last area where you come. For me, it was after I visited the cathedral. And of course, then you have to go around because you have to collect some things for that. I like the tower because that was a nice reference to Life of the Party. And there's
the
a lot.
necromancer.
And because everybody knows. And I totally thought that if I read the book and turn around, there will be a zombie. I totally expected that joke, but it didn't happen. So they teased me, and that was really great. There are so many great references. But that area, I think, I could just get into that mindset, like this is a Thief 2 mission, and then it was okay. It was a bit empty, but maybe because of that, it looked more like the original.
Yeah,
that's true.
So what I think is that mission is a bit of a mix, like Life of the Party and shipping and receiving, because I think the whole design of some areas looks more like shipping and receiving, in my opinion, just from the textures and what you see. But it's just a feeling.
I mean, that area in particular, I would definitely say yes. Maybe not so much the other. Maybe actually the western part also might have that look.
Right. A lot of if you're like me, I mean, I guess because I also like draw med, and like to me, like I can like, oh man, he didn't, or him or Marble didn't put as much detail into this part, and like me, I'm like, oh, he could have put like just a bit more polish here, and it would have been like amazing.
But they had limited time, and look what they pulled off.
No, it's still amazing.
One thing what bothered me is that but I think that's random Taffer stuff. They put in Thief 1 guards.
Yeah, and he imported a lot from Thief 1.
Yeah, I know that he loves that one specific voice and so on, but it's this always kicks me out. This like. The guards from Thief 2, the figures, they already look not very good. But then suddenly there's even a lower poly character running around. He's like he looks like from another dimension, and he has no neck. He's just like a sausage with some 3 polygon arms, and he totally takes me out all the time. But yeah, it's an art. This is a ballsy move.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So I already set my rating 10, atmosphere 10, gameplay 10, and story 6. What are your ratings?
I gave it atmosphere 8, gameplay 9, story 9. So it comes out to the same as yours. I was going to give it all 9s, but there's another mission later on that I think is better.
Yeah.
And that came out to all 9s, and I was like, I have to deduct something. So I deducted it from atmosphere because, like I said, the brush details in some areas looked too simple, and it kind of took me out and looked like it was.
But that's very interesting. Like I look at it from it's the Thief 2 atmosphere, and it's perfect.
Right.
So
I get it.
12 out of 10.
When I told him this, he got upset at me. Random when he was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Come on, like." It's not that big of a deal, lol. Like he like laughed me off, and I was just like, I had to deduct something, man. Okay.
But that was really hard in the ratings. I had to adjust my rating as well because I think of the same mission you were just teasing. I was like, if this is a 9, then this has
right.
to be...
Yeah,
and
that's
at the end it was like doing math. But next, give us your opinion, your ratings.
I was somewhere in between. I was 8, 9, 8.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So we're pretty close on this one, actually.
Yeah, but it was my my highest ranked mission. However, it did not get the highest ranked.
What? Psychosis mission? We didn't even talk about it, and you gave it a lower rating?
Damn.
What is wrong with
my
you?
heart is broken. No.
Yeah. I know, right?
I feel so bad. Spirit.
No, I had to. I mean, I also...
No, that's fine. I'm kidding.
The thing is that
suicide tomorrow.
Putting in Godbreaker into the mix, right? If let's say some of the other missions had some more refinement, or maybe were more up to my taste, and it would fall into the same category as Feast of Pilgrims, I would have to, think carefully not to award random Taffer just because we spoke and we really liked the guy. So yeah, there was some thought put into that, not to,
Yeah.
put your
I
friends up
struggled.
there.
I struggled with like a good amount of this list because I know a lot of the people who submitted,
I
and I
bet.
didn't want to be biased. Yeah,
I only know 2, and I was
yeah.
in a kerfuffle.
It's Psychosis only friends, and he doesn't want to lose them. So I can totally relate. That's why I'm an asshole to everybody. So you don't
Excellent.
can't harm anyone. Yeah. That.
But-
Yes.
Is it? Well, I guess we're gonna talk about this one more. As far as I know, is this a secret, Alex?
Not anymore. Yeah. Maybe one day we will talk about this mission in detail. And
it would feel right.
the authors would be invited. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, it's even if you say the whole truth.
Great idea, Nex. You just gave me a great idea.
It's still a maybe, right?
Yeah. Of course. Who's that Randy Taffer? Is his first one, right? I can't even remember his name correctly. So, yeah. And who is Wobble Woman? Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Hey, actually,
Wood Woman, yeah.
Wood Woman, Woodman.
when we did an episode with Random Taffer, did he not say that the face changer would make an appearance?
No, in the next, in the not in the prequel.
In the other campaign he's working on, yeah. Not in this mission.
Oh,
because we're working on another campaign.
Nex,
yeah.
I can imagine like how Nex was running all over the mission. Like he has done everything, he picked up every little coin that you can find, and then he hears that screaming person all the time, and he's like, oh, "Is that the face change? Wait for me, face changer! I'm here."
No, it was one of the Thief 1 guards, and his face was glitching. I was like, it has to be this one, right?
Great. Yeah, I'm really sorry for you that because seriously, I can't totally imagine because I know that you were looking forward to that.
Oh,
and then you're like, oh yeah,
good character.
It's a Godbreaker themed story. Ooh, and then bad mission.
Now you know why the story didn't get a 9 or a 10.
Yeah, of course. I think the face changer alone would have given it 10, and the rest would, it could have been like, the rent is due. I need some money, and
I mean, the face changer would have been a ratings changer. Just it.
Yeah, it would have changed the face of your rating. But let's not get loose. We have a lot more missions to talk about.
A lot more, yeah.
And the next one is Fierce Competition. Who's the author, by the way?
Jayrude.
Yeah, right. Jayrude. It's actually just 4 megabyte big.
It's very small. Yeah.
Yeah. They were all pretty small because of the original stock foot, whatever you call it. But this one is 4 megabytes. It's the smallest. Yeah. I gave this one. Maybe I start with my rating. It's Atmosphere 6, Gameplay 8, and Story 5. I like this one. It's pretty solid. It's my place 4.
Yeah, for me, I actually gave it the exact same score. Funnily enough, on all 3 categories.
6, 8, 5.
And
good.
yeah, and
clever guy.
I struggled with this one especially because he's a good friend and he's also a speedrunner. So I talk to him almost all the time, and I talk to him like the whole development, and I had to really push him sometimes to get working on it because he kept procrastinating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he basically rushed this, which is why I gave the story probably the lowest, because I think he made it up in a day, and by a day I mean like 20 minutes. And he
so then you stole his story for
Right,
your
yeah.
mission.
Right.
Thief.
But yeah, it's a little. It's I assume a lot of people have played it, but if you haven't, it's a little like city section mission. It's like a Skacky light mission almost, you know?
That's what I thought as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because I do believe he was pretty much inspired directly from Skacky and Milan when he designed this city section, and it feels very Thief 1 to me.
I think he has a good mixture. Yes, the architecture,
Yeah.
because it's very high, everything. But one
Mhm.
thing I have to admit, I think if he was inspired by the Skekki style, I actually think I don't want to say he did it better, but more for my taste, because
Right.
the routes you take don't feel so artificial to me. You know, like what I criticized on
What
Endless
about the
Rain.
sizes?
Endless Rain, yeah.
It's like just corridors, you know, you have to go through and then you go up and down, and everything has a purpose for you to reach as the player. But he did it in a nice way. I liked exploring this. It's pretty compact.
Right. It's definitely high gameplay oriented. I think it's very everything kind of flows. Honestly,
Definitely.
just as good as Feast, but like on a smaller scale. Like everything, it's just so great to play. But as a result, I think he lacked in the story and atmosphere, which is the only down part. Yeah.
But it's really solid. I think it's like we have those top 3 missions that we will maybe tell later what we think are our top 3. And I think then in the whole contest, then you have like those 2 missions that are comparable, which is this one and later yours. In my opinion, they are both for me at one place. And then you have like those missions that are good, but you don't remember so much about them. And then you have the lower categories. But this one, I think it was fun, especially after, because I played Feast of Pilgrim first, and I think then this was actually no, then I played yours, and then I played this one, and
I think a lot of people played this one first because it's the smallest. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a nice, nice change. It didn't, take so much time. It was not overwhelming. Everything worked. This was a cool mission. I really liked it. And this is one of the missions I would, if I would have like a Sunday afternoon and I don't know what to play, then I would go like, oh yeah, let's replay this one. It's a cool thing, it doesn't stress you, and you know that it will end at, you can finish it in one evening.
Yeah.
And it's a good one. What is your rating next?
My rating is 6.75.
Pretty close.
So just
pretty
one
close,
below,
yeah. But I felt like it was a little bit too small. I don't think I think Jayrude has a lot of potential. Because I felt like there wasn't too much time put into it. Perhaps he started with the architecture of the the outsides first, and I think he nailed that. And I would guess that that was first, and after that he kind of ran out of motivation because the inside corridors or the kitchens, and they're not well decorated. There's not a lot of objects there. I felt like there was a problem with the ratios of the things in the like the sink was maybe I'm going into details, but the insides didn't feel lively. Yeah, but whereas
the whole
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry,
I
was gonna say like the whole basement of like the main mansion feels kind of copy pasted.
Yes, that's what I thought too.
That's the only reason I gave it an 8, because you spend actually a lot of time in there. I think one of the keys is down there that you have to get in the mission in order to get the main objective, and it's just like room, square room, square room, square room, and it feels copy pasted, and I think he rushed that part especially because I think he finished that with like a month to go before the deadline.
Okay.
And also there's the I think it's like a sort of spiral staircase leading up to the rooms of the hotel, I believe, or the inn. and that was like the corridor was so small, and it just didn't feel like it was actually there. However,
Yeah, it didn't feel like someone would actually walk on that staircase. Yeah.
yeah. But for me, just like I criticized Random Taffers mission at the beginning, this one, as soon as I pressed start and I saw the first screen, I was like, "This, okay, let's go." You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I will say the exteriors are gorgeous in some areas. I think he put a lot of beautiful like architecture into.
Interesting. It's very
like you said,
interesting from the architecture.
Yeah, and it's very dynamic. You go up and you go down and you go under and over, and every time you see something else that you might reach later. And I really think that if Jayrude put his mind into it and created a bigger mission, because we don't want a mission that you can finish in 40 minutes.
And has Psychosis on his back with the leash.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I feel like, and if he puts more detail into the interiors, I think he can make like a very, very nice mission that I would replay a couple of times. I do, however, this is probably, but then again, maybe it goes the same for Skaki. Though I don't know, because his interiors brought color. I felt like the Skaki style missions have the very grayish palette on
dark,
the outside.
Gritty,
yeah. And I feel like it takes some color in a few places to really bring that up to life. Because imagine watching Sin City only in grayscale, right, without the color things. That's a thought I had when I was playing this one.
Yeah, but maybe it's because as you said, it's rushed a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely textures are pretty colorless sometimes. Yeah.
But all in all, I think this mission was fun. It was great to play, and it was over the average.
Yeah.
Solid work. And it was for me it was P4 with
Place
yours.
4. Yeah. What you said basically sums it up. It's like that one little. It's like a comfort mission. It's like you could play it. You're like, oh, I want to play a mission. I only have about like an hour, maybe. You could fire it up.
Yeah.
Finish it. Like,
yeah,
no worries,
nothing
struggles.
Wrong about it. Like that's so solid work. Yeah, for me, we can go to the next one. Actually, I think before that, I need a cigarette. And
what is the next one?
Into the Art.
Ooh.
I think this mission screams mixed feelings.
Oh yeah,
for you.
That's like for me too.
Really? Because when I alluded to it earlier, I said there was a mission that was better. I think this is it.
I thought it was the Builder's Paradise. Now I'm being shocked.
No. This mission's fantastic.
This mission
love
is
this mission.
The Donald Trump of no, that's not nice. But he splits,
why?
he splits the country into Thief 1 people and Thief 2 people, and the Thief 2 people say like, yes, but you already had your contest. I don't. Why did you make a mission that resembles Thief 1 so much? We have our contest now. No, but let's be real. I actually see. I know this is your rating. Wow, I was just wondering why it doesn't have more points than Feast of Pilgrims, but I look at the wrong chart. Next start. What is your opinion on this, and what rating did you give it?
Okay, let me start with rating. I gave it the atmosphere 10 out of 10. Yes. Gameplay 6 out of 10, which is less than Fierce Competition, and it's a small one. And the story 5 out of 10. No. I know.
So before Psychosis explodes, maybe Psychosis, you tell yours and then I tell mine.
My score. I thankfully we agree that the atmosphere is 10 out of 10.
No, it's a 9, but okay.
Oh, okay. And then gameplay, I gave it an 8 out of 10, and then story, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Yep.
I have a 9.75.
Oh, so you guys deducted a lot from the story, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man, you'll hear the reasons.
Okay.
So this, as I said, this mission is like a roller coaster ride. First, it goes straight down, in the first area.
Oh, I
Because
agree.
this
Oh no,
mission
yeah,
is so
I will not front. The beginning pushes you into the ground, like it'll beat you up.
yeah. Then you go down. Then it gets amazing. So
Mhm.
when you are underground, this whole sewer, whatever section it is, I love that. It's so amazing. And then you come outside after a while, and you are in that house. So on the geographically, you are up again, but then the gameplay and the fun is going down. And
Okay.
no, I don't know. I can see what is amazing about it, but it's so roughly shaped. I would wish for a 2.0 version with time put into it. There's so many little gameplay problems. That sometimes it's hard to grab something, so for at least from my experience, and I don't like supernatural stuff, but this is just a matter of taste. I actually like the eye monster. The design was amazing.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, it was a bit sad that it was almost invisible, but because it looked great. But I don't know. That mission for me feels like they or he or she didn't have a full concept. It seems like 2 or 3 or 5 concepts, the ideas someone had, and then he made a mission out of that.
Right. I will agree because I think you guys, well, you said earlier that it's more of a Thief 1 styled mission.
Yeah, from the gameplay and the architecture.
100%. And like if there was like another category of theme, I would probably deduct a lot of points because of that. Fortunately, there isn't. But yeah, I mean, it's just like this. To me, this is a classic. Like, I think this is like how much I gushed about Endless Rain. I'm going to be gushing about this mission probably the rest of my days. And
Wow.
if you're honestly, if you're complaining about the there is some legitimate gameplay faults, right? Like so the beginning, I because I was on the beta test for the team, so I do know the authors, but I'm not going to say who they are. But out of respect for them. But the first version of
Fear.
like, the beta, yeah, they'll probably kill me. No, the first version of the beta was rough. It was actually bad. Like, it was way worse. There was a lot less spaces to hide. Where they put the blackjack was a lot worse. They didn't even tell you exactly where the lockpicks were. All the because I think now the objective is like go to the aqueducts, right, to get your
Like that,
lockpicks. Before it was just like find your lockpicks. So you had no idea where they were on the map. So you never knew that you had to go all the way back to the start, back into like that little sewer tunnel to then go get them. It was so bad. But thankfully I was one of the people, because I'm a little bit of a baby like that whined and complained for them to add that back in. But I could see gameplay faults with it, but I just don't understand how you don't like the story or the atmosphere. Well, the story mainly. Guys, like,
Alex,
come on.
you want to go?
Like, what's wrong?
Yes. So, to be honest, I played it in March, so I don't remember all the little details, about. But as I totally like the atmosphere. I gave it a 9, and I think a 9 is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But the story didn't catch me. The same. It felt like things were thrown together, and I couldn't. It didn't. I wasn't interested in the whole thing. It didn't catch me. So it's just maybe a matter of taste. I can't really exactly name the problem now, because it's been a long time, and I didn't replay the longer missions for today. But it didn't catch me. It has so many great moments I remember, and I can totally see your point when you say like this is a classic. because this is something you remember, like in some years, with especially the moment with the eyes in the wall, and the monster. Even if you don't like it, but it has some great moments and elements, but it doesn't connect so well, in my opinion. Just that. But I think version 2.0 with more thought put into it and more polish, especially in the first area, that really doesn't feel believable. It just feels thrown together, then it could be a really great experience from some of the flaws it has now.
Right. What's your issue with it next?
Well, let's start with the nice things. The atmosphere. I mean, I can't really put a finger on it, but as soon as I walked out of the first area and into the beginning of that city, it felt like it had some mystique. It had something.
Mm-hmm.
It felt more like a place actually than the Feast of Pilgrims for the first minute.
What?
It did. For me, it had like I want to soak in. I want to see what's behind the next corner. It's like I don't know what to expect. It did fall apart when I had to ghost around the. Actually, in the middle of that ghosting, I was like, actually, right over here, everybody has to ghost because I don't think there's a blackjack anywhere nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. I went through it, and that was nice. I also want to point out that it has a few points of absolute brilliance, right? The eyes following you through that.
The whole, and the whole underground city is fantastic. I think it's one of the best
I
things.
agree.
Well, I don't know. I'm not too much of a fan. I'm not a fan of
The whole
the
necromancer
forced
story,
linearity. But okay, maybe I didn't.
I can agree with that.
But I actually think that was the best part, because this felt, like, okay, I like it when it's well done, when you have a corridor, when there's just one way. But if this is a journey, and then you can see great things, and I think that gave them the ability to pull things off in that way, and then to make things interesting, and to give you those moments that stuck to your head. So I think this part was actually pretty great. I didn't like the more parts where you had more freedom.
Mundane, yeah. Oh.
I actually like the part, the city that you come into. I think I like that one a little bit more because I like choice, and I like to go somewhere and look and then go back. And yes,
there's not much choice.
But there were.
I would say it doesn't really.
Go on,
the mission. Sorry.
I was just okay, but I want to see where you're going next. Sorry.
Actually, let's let Tycho finish.
I was just gonna add, the mission doesn't, because Next said he likes being open and like being able to go where he wants, and the mission doesn't really open up until about like that halfway point when you emerge out into the mansion. Then finally you kind of have more freedom, because up until then it's kind of like railroaded.
Yeah, and
especially in the sewers.
And that is even worse. This house.
I love the house.
I hated the house. Like, who would live in that place? I'm here in the middle of a hallway next to a chimney, dining table, and now I want to read a book. So I go 10 miles downstairs. And it's no one would live in that place except
the guy from the sword,
Constantine.
Yeah, Constantine. Right, I had to see Constantine.
That's why the whole underground city is right under it, because it's a guy who's into magics and necromancy and all that. That's right under his house,
fine.
So he's he's supposed to be a little kooky, a little.
Yeah, but the house was fun to play.
I get the cookiness, and then people always talk about the sword being one of the best missions ever. And for me, it was way overboard, right? I could take a little creepiness and a little weirdness, but that was like, it felt cartoonish. And I had the same problem with this mission. I feel like everything was.
Oh,
I would guess that the author had he was like doing a list of good ideas that he has, and he had some really good ideas. I'll give that, but he picked every idea and then mashed it together.
as I said,
and
yes.
Yeah, and it's like a crazy carnival ride. You start with the non-linear, and then you go into the linear, and then it suddenly opens up into a non-linear again, and then it's not linear anymore, but you lose yourself. And then when it comes to story, you have the eyes, and then you have the zombie, and you have the ghost, and then you have who knows what. You go from impressive atmosphere to weird design choices and super linearity. And the whole time I'm playing, there's a music in the back of my head going doot 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 doot, and I just the thing is,
you nailed it, Jet. Yeah, you nailed it, buddy.
it feels like it needs refinement, right? You want something that's well rounded. You want because when I saw the eyes, I was very intrigued, and it was very nice. But then it's like, no, it's not the eyes anymore. It's these guys, and it's like all over, right? I mean, you can't just say Into the Odd, you have this weird title, and then it explains that it's a mishmash of everything crazy.
Maybe the mission should be called Into Out and Into Back into the Odds, something like that.
Yeah.
I think the title is actually pretty perfect for the mission.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, right? Like this mission is an experience.
Yes.
Like would you deny that? Like you remember what happened, or you at least remember a good majority of it.
I already said that it was a journey, and it was some people don't like all the parts of a roller coaster ride all the time, but they will remember it. So there were good parts and parts I didn't like, but others, strange people like you, they liked it. But
go on. Sorry.
As I said, like the beginning is so rough shaped. It's not.
I
the
agree.
whole area is not believable. The whole mission, how it's put together. Like next just described it perfectly. Like there's that guy, and he lives there in that strange house, and it's close to that, and it doesn't make sense. At one place they wanted some atmosphere, and on the other hand, it feels like, we need this area to be like that so that our gameplay ideas work.
Right. Marbleman, to go off on a tangent, kind of laid a really good explanation on the story and why he really enjoyed it. And I don't know if I should read it. I probably should just link it here for you guys to read later.
I'm just reading it.
Yeah, but like it for many of the reasons he points out in his post in the missions thread, it's actually why I adored the story, because it's just I know it seems like it's just a bunch of ideas kind of thrown at the wall and seeing what sticks, but that's what I love about it. Like there's no structured story beginning to end. It's just like events are happening in the city. And like this is just how it is. Like, and you're just Garrett. You're like, like in the game, you're kind of, the prophecy or whatever. I forget what the keepers refer to him as. But like here, it's just like things are going on. This guy has a huge underground city where he experiments into the necromancies and stuff. And like I don't know if either of you caught this, but like if you go down into the bottom of the library, that like oddly circular library that doesn't have any stairs or anything, so I will agree that's kind of stupid, but if you go down to the bottom of it the first time you go to the mansion and you look through the gate, you could see him like looking at you in one of the machines, like on the telescope, like he's spying on you the entire time. So like it like this mission does like show but don't tell really well, like with the eyes like looking at you in the underground city. It's just like there's a bunch of things like you're just seeing it and you're just like, I don't why, and then like they just never tell you, and to me, like I love that, right?
Yes.
It's unknown.
I can totally see, I can totally appreciate the mission for it, what it is, and I actually think it's a good thing if a mission polarizes, then
100%. Yeah.
then you've done things right, and you can't fit everybody's taste. And of course, it's interesting, Nex and me, we are more Thief 2 players, and you are more Thief 1 guy.
Yeah.
And I think, and that is, I think that will be very interesting in the outcome of the ratings. I think that the army of Thief 1 lovers, the old dudes and you, they will. They will push that thing, because I don't think, for me, like for the Thief 2 contest, this is clearly not the winner. But I can see that there will be enough people that will do the wrong decision. And again, there's a Donald Trump comparison. No, I'm kidding. But I can see it, and if it wins, I can give it that. I could accept that, but it would have taste for me.
For all the criticism for both me and Alex, it's up in the top 3, right?
Yeah, but definitely.
Yeah.
And not even from an outside perspective, it is in my top 3 as well, because it stuck to my head and it had amazing moments.
Yeah, and I was fairly critical when I was speaking. I guess it comes down to taste, right? For me, it kind of fell back because it was hard to keep the immersion going, right? The ever-changing things kind of like threw me out of there, and I wasn't in the place anymore. When I was complaining about the number of enemies that you should fear, like, remember For a Better Tomorrow mission, right? When you have only one type of enemy, maybe it's 2, I'm not sure, but it feels like this ever-present, and you're always fixated on this, right? On that, and that fear, was there from the beginning up to the end, right? Whereas in this mission, I started getting immersed into something, and I was waiting for this to come from some corner, and I was very careful because of that. Then it kind of broke because there was something else, and then it's just a mishmash. But as I said, like it comes down to taste, I suppose. But when it comes to my taste, if this author picked 2 out of 10 ideas, worked around there, I think it has immense potential.
Right. Okay.
Yes, it's what you said something next, and that is and that gave me the idea. Like, you throughout the mission, and that is not a bad or good thing, but you always have to adjust yourself for the new scenery.
Yeah.
And that is, I didn't like it, because you are getting you're getting used to that area, and then suddenly it changes again, and suddenly you have to totally get out of that feeling and then back into that, and it's not my type of taste. But on the other hand, I can totally, you can just appreciate how many different ideas someone can put into one mission. So yes.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I think this will polarize, especially if it wins, because at the beginning I was totally sure, like, okay, I know which mission will win, but after a while thinking of it, I was like, there might be the wrong people with the voters' rights.
We reserve the right to judge.
But you know what? In the Thief TMA20AC, this won't happen again. So, we can go on, I think.
Yeah.
With now it is my favorite year.
Yeah.
And I just have to relocate myself. What was that? This is one of the average missions, I think.
It was the mission where you start in the sewers area, and it's a mission that contains the storage sort of area with the mansion.
Yeah, okay.
Mansion-ish interior.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
It feels
playing
very
it right
garbled
now.
together for sure.
Yeah,
I
for
liked
me, it
it.
was a strange choice.
It was solid, but
That's definitely true.
it's like something like after Into the Odd, like in comparison, like this didn't get stuck to my head. It was good work. It was a good thief mission, and maybe I even played it after Into the Odd, and it was a welcome addition for me at that moment. But yeah, I can't really remember much from it.
I mean, for me, it was solid. It had good moments, but when we were talking about the fierce competition before, where the outside intrigued me and you could climb, and this didn't happen to that extent here. It was,
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly in the README, I think the author said he or she made it in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something like that.
What?
If you looked at the README, it was he says it's a speed build.
I didn't.
interesting.
Yeah. So
but
that's
he had 1
probably a
year
reason.
of time, so we can put that.
Well,
into
maybe he just didn't feel like making it until the last month or something, or she, but like yeah, but that's what the README says. So I mean, maybe it's an excuse. Maybe it's like, oh, it's only 3 weeks, guys. Haha. But
yeah, and then you see a post like edited, and you're like, oh, I didn't recognize the contest. No, yeah, I can't say much about that mission from the story. I just know what I gave it as a rating, and yeah.
What was that?
It was back in the days. I gave it 5.54. So it's because it was very average. It's just average for me. I'm not. Now I think I'm making enemies, but but I have to admit, I played all the missions within 3 days or 2 days. And maybe because today I revisited some of them and my favorite year as well. And then I saw it and I was like, why did I give it a 5.54? The story maybe 4 might be right, but it's not that bad, So yeah, maybe I have to correct myself here. Maybe it's a 6.64.
Okay.
Yeah,
I gave it an 8.76.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm very generous with my scores.
You are an author. Maybe it's that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also a sucker for weather, which is why I put it in my mission as well. So the rain just kind of. That's why I gave it an 8 in atmosphere. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but like on all the windows, he put like a muffled, like rain sound, right, when you're inside.
Yes, like in Endless Rain.
Yeah, and to me, I loved that, and the use of like the ambience and to me, the mission kind of reminded me of shipping and receiving, right?
Yeah,
and to a degree, right? Obviously,
for me, it was the whole architecture
was very basic, 100%.
Not just basic. I meant for me, it felt like this doesn't feel right. Like how everything is put together.
It definitely feels like a bunch of ideas.
Yes,
kind of slapdash.
And where that leads us when we compare it to the mission we talked before. So,
because like there's like the warehouse bits, and then there's like the mansion bits, and then you get to the basement, and like
but
it's like building up to the secret
inside the warehouse, kind of.
It's I think it's intriguing.
I think it's stupid because a rich man, why would he live?
Well, I think there's a readable, right, where he explains.
I know, but I think the author knew why he needed
to write that in
there.
Shit, he can't live here.
Of course, we have to give him credit that he can self-reflect on that. And I don't want, I think I sounded a bit harsh on that. It was I played it and I like to play it. It's a solid mission, but nothing, this is not a mission where I would say like, okay, it's Sunday, I will replay it again.
Yeah, I think, funnily enough, I think I was one day talking to Skaki, and he said he really liked this mission. He thought it was like the quintessential, this is what he said, the quintessential Thief 2 fan mission. where it's like solid. It's not amazing, but like he thinks it gave off really good Thief 2 vibes.
What is wrong with those people?
I agree with them.
Feast of Pilgrim is a perfectly shown.
Feast of Pilgrim is but like he means like this feels like it could have been an OM, like an original mission.
Can we delete Skekki's episode?
I'd have to go and check the quote again. He said this months ago.
I can see his point because, like, if we compare Life of the Party to Feast of Pilgrims, of course, Life of the Party is like the Shining Star mission from Thief 2. So, of course, there were other missions, and we already talked about some of them. They were more to the average part, and I can see the comparison. Yes, it resembles from the whole building heights and the whole atmosphere. It is pretty Thief 2 like. That's right. Yes.
What'd you give it, Dex, on your ratings?
Well, I didn't particularly enjoy it. I gave it a 5.43, and once you said that he did it in such a short time, it all makes sense. I'm just not a fan of speed building. I mean, even if DRK does it, and I wash that guy laundry if you let me hang out with him.
Yeah.
What was it that where that dead body was on the balcony? Where was that explained?
Nope.
And that's what I didn't like.
There.
On one hand, like, okay, you can just leave it there and the player can make it up in his head, but there was nothing that resembled this. If I'm right, maybe I didn't find a readable or something.
Who's the author again? Was it anonymous or
Morendrum?
I don't think that's a user. Yeah, I think that's a pseudonym. Okay.
Or
Morendrum. I don't know.
Wait, isn't that a place from Thief, like the reboot? The 2014 Morendrum?
Morendrum, I don't know. There's so
I really hope
if you're talking about things I don't remember.
It's Thief 2014.
No, I remember pretty much. But Morendrum, I don't know.
It is. Oh no.
I know there was an author,
Morgan. You're thinking of Morgan, I think.
Okay, yeah, probably Morgan.
We will see tomorrow. So
I think unfortunately, I think the results won't be posted till Monday. It's Saturday now.
But maybe.
No, maybe. I mean, if Yandros, maybe I'll try to kick him into gear.
Yeah, I can wait until Monday at 12.
I'm writing that down. Kick him.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I guess I just enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't bad, right? Like, if a mission to me wasn't bad, I'd try to give it at least a 16 out of 30.
Yeah, 1 point over average, right?
Yeah, because to me, average is average, so it would be 15 or below.
But me, as a social worker, we say we need to have more average.
You're a little hard ass, I know. Yeah.
Not everybody can be special,
We're cranky old men.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Can I intersect there when you were talking about the body on the balcony?
Yes.
That was an interesting point for me in this mission, because first of all, somebody left a jeweled dagger in her back, and Garrett's like, "Ooh, murder weapon, I'll take that." What could go wrong?
Why? Okay,
Garrett
but
just
they didn't
not
have
care,
that. They didn't have that forensic stuff at that time. That they oh wait, there are blood samples on the dagger from
enhance.
There was what was that mission where they invented those fingerprints thing? That was great. I like that.
I can't remember.
But you know what I mean, right? The city mission, and then there's a police station, and of course the guards are like complaining, like, oh, now they have to write all the reports, and now but that was cool. I like that. We're just thinking of it.
Yeah. Should we move on?
So next one is show off. I don't remember anything. Even now, I am having it on my screen right now, and I'm running around. I'm like, did I play this? I rated it, but not very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I probably rated it a little too nice again.
I bet you did. I want to hear it. What's your
Alright.
ranking?
All right. Atmosphere 5, gameplay 6, story 6.
It's pretty low for
So
your
it came out to
standard.
17. Yeah, that's the second
I-
lowest.
Yeah.
Or
Next.
fourth lowest. Yeah.
I'm at 4.34.
Ooh. Oh man, you guys are mean.
Yeah, as I said, we make enemies today, but I hope that authors don't take it personally. But I gave it a 3.33.
Even
Hmm.
more, even less
I
than me.
I corrected it
Oh
today.
my
I
God.
was way meaner on the file I sent you. I gave it a 2.22. So yeah, it's. I think I'm
I
a bit
played this
harsh.
months ago.
I
No,
can-
but I 100% agree because I played this months ago and I do not remember a thing about it.
Right, and I
And
just have it on my screen, and I'm walking
I
around,
made this
and I
score
don't
months ago.
know what it is. But I have to admit one thing: what you said, like, it's still average. You know, it doesn't look too bad. It's just a standard
Yeah,
mission.
like to me, it's still not a bad mission.
9 points out of 30 is pretty harsh, I have to admit. So, so, but you know what? If it's my score or not, the author isn't dying from that, or will never make a mission again. But yeah, but I can see your point. So please,
100%.
Grandmauden, don't take it personal. Grandmauden, whatever. Grandmauden.
It's kind of he made another mission for the other anniversary contest, and that one I don't remember either.
Yeah.
What's the name of that one?
The Hunt Part 1, something like that.
Oh yeah. I don't remember.
It was like a
it
city
either.
mission. It was also a city mission. Yeah.
I remember that I don't remember it, sadly. Yeah. We really have to look at my words, because people might take it a bit too serious.
It's like that's why I tried to be nice.
Yeah, I know, because like if they hear that now, and maybe
Yeah.
it's the second mission, but I heard the name more often, I think. Like, yeah, you don't want to take their fun out of that.
And me as now an author, I kind of like maybe sympathize with the creation process, so I try not to be too rude about it.
I can totally see that. Yeah, that was I was.
And there are some really, if I remember, actually, I do remember one thing. I said I don't remember a thing. I remember one thing. I think he made a burrick, like out of brushes, so like out of like terrain.
Yes,
which I thought was really cool. Like I remember like laughing about that. I probably gave the bonus points. Yeah. He made a burrick like out of like terrain.
Then it's atmosphere 4 points from me.
I mean,
no, but I remember that. Yes, now that you say it.
But yeah, it's I think it's basically just a standard museum heist, right? Like you just go in, you just steal
it was that
items.
one with where you have to deactivate that.
Yep.
Oh right, and now I get it. Now oh wait, now I actually remember a bit more. I like that element, but the problem is, you could deactivate the individual alarms on those where they have the little rings and stuff. But no one cared when the alarm, the alarm went off, and I was looking around and like, okay, and I didn't knock out everybody.
No one was like chasing.
There were still guards running around, and then I just walked out of there. With all the loot, and the alarm was like, where? And the guards were like, that was strange. But I have to say, now when I remember the mission, my rating is a bit too low. Maybe I mistook it because that was not a 2.22 or a 3.33. That was a bit more. I can see. I mistook that one. So yeah. It doesn't matter which.
Did you have anything to say, like add next about it?
I mean, it's as soon as I open the mission up, it kind of falls into that. Whenever I see a cityscape and it's pretty much just
flat.
a building, flat,
Yeah.
no verticality. I can't enter most of the buildings. Like if it was 2005, maybe, but even I don't know.
Yeah.
The problem
I
is
agree.
that so many authors brought the standard so high. I mean, with just
Right.
Shame on them.
We're spoiled nowadays. If you
exactly we are, and I'm a I can't say I'm a mission author, but I did put, I would say, 5 years into building a mission that's probably never going to get released. But I know how much time it takes to get into the standard of that's been put
Mhm.
up, but by other authors. So, and some are more talented than others. Some have more time on their hands than the others.
And experience.
Yeah, and we have to appreciate that. This is somebody who took time from their lives. And he was just. Sometimes I would say, because when they say a lot that when you have kids, it's very good to put them into the creative hobbies early on, because it's a thing that's sort of like, it can be meditative. It can be. I think it's very nice to express yourself creatively. And I'll give thumbs up for that. It just didn't pull me in. That's why the score is like that for
Yeah, I could get that.
Yes. But one thing, and that is, wait, I had to adjust my mic. Sorry. So, one thing that gets lost sometimes during that perspective is, yes, those people, they gave us missions and they spent their free time there.
Mhm.
But I think sometimes people in the forums, if you criticize someone, and I think Psychosis, you know what I'm talking about, if that they do that doesn't prevent from criticizing. If I publish something, especially in a contest,
Mhm.
then I'm taking part in a competition, and
Right. Yeah.
so yeah, I can totally see that, and I'm glad, if he goes on with making missions and he's getting better. We will come to your mission. That is a perfect example. But still, I think some criticism has to be allowed, it was a solid mission. I don't know how many he made so far. That's always interesting to know, but it was good, and I hope he will take part in the next one as well.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think
Or
you just
release a solo mission without any pressure.
right. Yeah, I think a lot of the missions here kind of had like that time crunch. Even though you had a year, like a year is as still a kind of short time to make a mission.
The thing is, I think Corona
Definitely.
came 1 year too late.
Yeah. So it's like,
imagine how amazing the missions would have been if they had all
if
the
it was
Corona
here last
time.
year.
quick, start a contest.
Yeah, that was the idea for a Corona contest.
Damn, I missed that.
Yeah.
Let's go on.
Okay. Now,
what is the next one?
The next one now. Oh, this is mixed feelings as well for me. 10 Little Taffers.
Okay.
Okay, that's yours. Yeah. That was your comment on the rating.
What's your rating, Alex?
My rating is 7.67. Out of sympathy. I went into this mission, and when I figured out what it is about, I was like, "Whoa, what a great idea!" Because basically it's one story out of 3 perspectives. So every individual difficulty level is another character. First, you can play as Garrett, then you play as one of the guests. It's a funeral, and so all the members, the family, and close ones or not close ones are invited, and then they are all murdered under mysterious circumstances. And in the last difficulty setting, you play as the the lord or whatever he is who died, and you kill all of them. You do the murderers.
Yeah.
And I thought when I started this, I was like, and I figured it out that it's like three different difficulty settings with different perspectives. I thought, oh, this is like the game Clue or Cluedo in Europe sometimes. Like, oh, now I really have to figure out like a murder case, and I see the different perspectives, and maybe I have to combine things, and it wasn't like that. I think the whole idea is totally amazing, but I had the feeling that they or he or she, what was the author official?
It was
Balboa, Doug Brainerd.
Balboa, yeah, something like that.
So it's official, I think. And the idea was great, but I had the feeling that he didn't know how to make great gameplay out of it.
Yeah, so like for my score, it was 547. So I was actually shocked that I'm lower than you. Duh. But yeah, it's like the premise. Like I was going into, I was like, okay, this is unique. Maybe
Yes.
it'll leave an impression on me. It's 3 different difficulties who are all different, and in how they play out the level. But then I got into normal, which I think is Garrett, correct?
Yes.
And I was just like bored. Like I was a little bored on like when I got inside and I started stealing. And then when I played the servant guy, the guy, I forget what his name is, but the second one, hard. It was interesting, and then, but like it felt like Garrett again almost. To a degree, because I think with Garrett, like you're just there to steal, and I think people are dying.
Yes.
While you're stealing, right? And then with him, it's like I think you just walk around and you just like people are dying one by one, and then you find out it's the cop lady. I forgot the name. The watch guard. Yeah, no, but I forget what he named her in the story. But yeah, and then, but then it's like weird because then on the last difficulty, it's not her who's the killer; it's the other guy, the like the rich nobleman. I forget his name too, which is weird. But that I will say that difficulty was actually kind of fun.
No, it was totally disappointing in my opinion, because I thought, I was playing in that order, Garrett, that other guy, and then the murderer. Mm-hmm. And I was like looking forward to that last one. Like, okay, now I want to see how he, really pulled off all the murders. And then it's just so simple. Like that. I think that is the basic example.
True,
because there is like he has his diary, or where he took his notes about all the people, why he doesn't like them, and how he wants them to die. And so this should give you like the idea of what to do with them. And there is that one thing, like her. He tried to he stole that house from my family, that lord's blah blah blah, and he should die from the wine or something like that. And then you think, okay, maybe you have to poison the wine or something like that. There's something interesting. You have to find some poison in the house. And then you just take a bottle and throw it at him, and he dies. And then that was like, and you know how the objects, when you throw them in Thief, they don't fall. They glide, down.
Yeah.
And I throw it at his shoulder, and he died. It was like, okay, so that will be that. And none of the murderers is like feels good or satisfying,
right?
And next, we were joking about this today when we talked, the lady that dies first, that falls down the stairs, and no one reacts, like like they let her there on that pole, or what it was, a statue or something, and she's just lying dead there, and everybody's walking around like, nothing
Right.
happened. I didn't get that. That was strange.
Yeah, I think that's just like a engine sort of like it's hard to pull that off realistically.
Yes, of
and
course.
I think
I mean-
that's where a lot of the downfall of the mission comes from. I think
literally,
yeah.
she fell down. And
what did you want to say next? Sorry.
oh, sorry. Yeah.
Well, not really. Just waiting for because I think I might shock you with my
You
scores
want
on
to
this
talk
one.
about the exploding bridge, I guess.
There's so much goofiness in this mission and problems and problems, but there's a few things that I just love, and I hope the community takes this one as a guide for how to advance, because you know how we joke how the rent is due, and you know
Mhm.
the innovations don't really I remember when the sunlight missions were popular, and it was the new thing to innovate because you could hide in the shadows, and I fucking hated that.
Hard times, for thief.
I absolutely hate the sun mission because like why.
Oh, that's why you hate Into the Odd then, huh?
There are some good ones, but
For me, it was like, yeah, I tried, I just couldn't get into it. I wish I could just go to sleep for 4 hours and then wake up when it's all dark and nice. But yeah, let's go to 10 Little Taffers. I hope they use this because first of all, I feel like with the mission that came recently, Violent End of Duncan Melvin, I feel like
ooh.
I feel like the theme that's kind of starting up, it's the whole detective getting the clues, and because I feel it's like a natural step for a thief, right?
Great
you
time for players.
Yeah, I mean, we had Ravenna's missions where you always did the like a nice thing, and you know you got some clues and you solved the puzzle, and it was sort of like detective work. So it's more than just the basic objective and the basic stealing. This is like a little bit more like it helps player, it incentivizes a player to start making notes and start to solve riddles. For me, it expands the gameplay tremendously. And well, yeah, this one had the exploding bridge, and the whole house is empty in a while, and there's this
Yeah.
guard.
I wouldn't say that. I like the house.
Well,
It was, to me, it was too empty and kind of boring.
right now I
No,
meant
that-
the empty
Sorry.
because everybody is dead.
That
So,
too, but like, yeah.
Yeah, you have to consider that. No, but I like that. This felt like, for me, it felt like a hotel. I really liked this. I like the kitchen. I totally the atmosphere there, and I like the ballroom, and I like the upper floor was the basement was not so great, but I like the whole atmosphere. I like to run around in that place, and you run around a lot. So this is one of the plus for me, and don't get me wrong, I gave it a pretty high rating, and
Mhm.
I was a bit making fun of some of the things, but what I want to say is like I would love to see a version 2.0 from that, like where or maybe he gets some help from others, like where they think about this, because the idea is amazing, and then
Mhm.
people think about it like, how can we pull this off in a manner that it's really fun, that the player is really engaged and really has to solve things, that he's really excited for the next chapter, and then it's interesting to pull off the killings. So
that's a problem for me when you said get excited for the next chapter. I hated the normal, hard, and expert being different things.
I like this. This was amazing.
I know. For me, it was like make just one and make that one good.
Yes, but there is potential to make it good, and that's why I gave it a high rating, because the potential is there. Like I totally like. There's just one problem that needs to be changed for new players that don't know what to expect. Like when you go in the main menu, when you go through the different difficulties. In the last one, I think there is one objective that already tells you, and I didn't know at that point, that already tells you like something where you could already like you get a bit spoiled, for like okay, it's about that, and you don't find it out during, because normally you should play as Garrett, and then you go into that house and you don't expect anything, you think it's a normal mission where you steal and then you get out and finish, but then the exploding bridge, it's like what is going on here, and you should normally find out about this mysterious thing, but if you before read all the objectives from all the difficulty levels, you are like, I know what will happen, I have an idea, and so this killed the excitement for me from the beginning.
I mean, exactly.
Which was sad.
There's a way of like, if I like the idea that you did something in the easy way, and then it gave you information that you could use in the other one. But it's like
it's 3 characters. How will you pull that off in just one difficulty setting?
I mean, don't play as 3 characters.
No, the idea of 3 characters is one of the amazing ideas. I think, that is something that makes it stand out.
I mean, I didn't like the Mission X for the fact that I had to communicate with others. Maybe it's a I don't know, the Garrett style, because he's always, he doesn't even want to cooperate with the keepers. Like he's a solo man, and in here it's.
But they don't cooperate. It's like one story, one moment from different point of views. And the only way to make that happen in one mission in the engine is to do it on the different difficulty levels. So
you could do it as a like mission after mission, right? Why not? Because there's a problem of people.
No, because I like the choice. Because you can play it in different orders. That's what I'm saying. Like that is actually one of the more brilliant ideas.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. But it would have to be refined so that it, you could pick anyone you want, and you could do it in different orders, because in this one you couldn't, right?
And that's what I say. Like, there's so much potential in the whole idea of this. And I would really like take your time for that. Come together maybe with other authors, because clearly this is not. It's not a random marble style mission, where everything is polished, or most of it. That it has its flaws, and the lighting was a bit strange, in my opinion. It felt off. But take your time, come together with people. Maybe there are people with great ideas out there, and then you can make a really great mission if you just take your time. And then I think we will have something that you won't forget so fast. So
for me, it's I don't like the idea of 3 things. I mean, I think it's an interesting idea, but in a lot of missions, I see that the progression of a player is very hard. It's very hard to achieve. A lot of times we talk about how the sectioning off really worked on this one and that one, and I think. For most authors, it's a struggle to pull that off. Now, I wouldn't want to introduce an innovation where people are starting to make missions where you would have to do this progression graph from 3 different styles and points, and I think it would just turn up messy, like it did in this one, right?
Yeah, however, but
just let me.
Sorry, go on.
Because I mean it could be done right, and if done correctly, it would be very interesting. But I don't think it's very, very likely. I mean, it takes a lot of polish into that.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. Take your time.
I mean, a lot of authors do take their time, and the progression graph kind of fumbles up at some point. It's just a concern. But yeah, I would love to see somebody pull that off. However, I'm more interested. This is just like a personal taste in missions that are like purely Garrett, like I said, with the Mission X, where you kind of work with people and have to communicate.
But I think it's not really comparable. I think this one it stands out already from its idea, and if done right, it this could have been like one of the top 3 missions. It has the potential just in the idea, and people would have been like, "Wow, this is an amazing idea." I'm totally sure.
Yeah. I mean,
but I see your point. But I think it shouldn't be the new thing to do that in every second mission like with those. But this idea, this scenery, and this whole thing, this is perfect for that. Like a murderer or murderers from different point of views, separated from each other. That's great. I mean, like that.
For me, the brilliancy of this mission came from like I said, with the violent death mission. It's the finding the clues, and I enjoyed stumbling. I do enjoy, because we all know, like, every time you see a hanged person, it's like a little drama moment. We all love that, right? It's like a little scare, and then it puts you in there. Yeah. And I do enjoy that fact. Also, what I think it's the most innovative, I guess, thing here. I mean, it's not really implemented in the way that I found intriguing, but do you remember Broken Triad, where a guard in an inn is guarding the engineer's apartment?
Can't recall it right now.
Well, the trick there is that you have to turn the heating up so that he would go down into the bar to get a drink, right?
Okay, yes.
And I feel like it's a super awesome mechanic where you would, you don't just have either you go into a different way or you blackjack the person, or I should say knockout.
1,000 times.
I haven't seen it that much,
it was already done in the Thief 1 missions.
Well, maybe I didn't play. I didn't play that a lot, but I would love. I mean, here it felt like a mission could have multiple, little events like this that could happen. Like, there would be, the gameplay would expand if you had more than knocking out people or choosing a different route. Here you could find some information, do some, because usually we have puzzles in like labyrinths and stuff like that, where you have to do this and this, and then that opens. But we much rarely see that doing some sort of puzzle would remove a person, and then you could walk in silently. I found that very, very intriguing.
Yeah, and as I said, that was my thoughts, my hopes when I figured out the idea behind the mission. Like, oh, maybe it's something like that, and then it wasn't totally like that.
Yeah.
Well, did you say your ratings next?
No, but my ratings are Atmosphere 3, because I didn't like the look of the place at all.
It's true. Okay.
When we say I wouldn't want to go ahead.
Okay, go on. Go on.
I didn't. I don't want to criticize the hotel too much, but if it was done differently, it could prevent that that awkward moment where guards are walking around the bodies and not doing that. I know scripting for that is hard, but if it was in a secluded section where only that guy went, it would be, even for a murder, even better place to murder somebody, right?
Yeah.
I think in that way it could be done a little bit better. Like you said, the lighting was off. I just didn't like the look of the place. It felt like everything looked the same. I also didn't like the double messages in every bedroom, but its brilliancy comes from different parts, I guess. So Atmosphere 3 out of 10. Gameplay I put 9 out of 10.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
That totally doesn't add up to your explanations.
I mean, like, for it wasn't fun walking around that, but there were, like I said, those parts, finding the bodies, clues. I mean, I think it screams potential. Like you said, Alex, there was something done here that hasn't been done before.
Yeah, in that way, right?
On multiple levels. It's just hard to compare with some of the more basic missions where it's just, a mission we've seen it 100 times. Not that it's bad, but it needs some sort of, at least the story needs to pull you in or something. And for the story, I have 7 out of 10, but I think I was a little bit too generous there because it's a little bit goofy. The guy that actually kills everybody has a grudge against everybody, I feel.
Yeah.
And it's like 10 people, and all the 10 are in the same place. And I know we had these sort of things with
That's such a classic scenario. I love it.
I think that isn't it based on like a story, like the whole idea of this.
I think there is a
and then there was
book
one or whatever it's called.
movie, an old movie,
Yeah.
and then the game Cluedo. I think
Yeah.
is comparable. So I gave it a 7 as well. So for story,
but it just felt a little bit goofy. But compare this one to Kosa's Mission 1, where you also have every mage or every scepter wielder at the same place.
Yeah.
But in that case, I think it's explained a lot, just better, more believable.
Well, the explanation here is good too, because it's a funeral gathering. You know,
yes,
it's like a party in his.
That is such
True,
a
but
classic movie and book theme. Like
right,
people come together for a funeral, for a wedding, for a birthday, or something like that.
But it's 10 people. 10 people. What a coincidence that these 10 people who are this guy has a lot of mortal enemies, and they're all connected to this one guy who just recently died. It's like, yeah, you can explain it. Do I believe it?
No, but do I believe the Godbreaker story? No. It doesn't happen. It's magic.
I mean, at least it's magic. If you're talking about
how many family reunions are there where people hate each other? Look at the Kardashians. That could be a real scenario.
Yeah, but Kanye is not going to go murder 10 out of them.
The Trump family, if they reunite, and I think it can happen, especially among rich people.
Yeah.
So I think it's really, you're really picky.
I mean, okay, yeah, I get that one family could, get into the wrong side of one guy and they would all become mortal enemies because of one reason, right? Here it's like these 10 people all have a different weird reason to be on somebody's kill list, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we know this guy is crazy, but it's all...
But it's fun. I think it's fun. It's like, yeah, I can play that crazy dude.
To me, it's less of a believable story than Into the Odd. Even though I ranked it higher right now.
I want to know. I want to have some of your drugs. Actually,
I'm laughing because I'm just sitting here laughing because I gave it the lowest score of us 3, but it's you 2 that are going at it.
Yes, yeah. We gave the right rating for the different reasons.
Yeah.
One thing, the key in the water. I didn't get that.
Oh, yeah.
That was awful. Like, did you see the key? It highlights, but you can't take it unless you lower the water level, which doesn't make sense. It was not electrified or anything.
Yeah,
that was strange. There is so much potential in that. So please, come together, people. Help this guy to pull this off. Like I think he wanted it to be, and because it's amazing. I will love it forever if there is a version.
It's definitely a unique mission.
Definitely.
And you remember it, so I guess it has that going for it for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we should go on because the next one will be something to talk about, and it's the Builder's Paradise.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Oh boy!
This was the beast, in my opinion. The beast of all the missions.
You think this is the best one?
No, the beast, not the best. It was the beast.
What's
among the?
What's the difference? What does the beast mean? Like, what does that mean to you?
This mission was consuming
huge.
Much of my energy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And it was huge. It was atmospheric. It was unique, and it was hard.
Yeah.
And
for me, if it ended up a bit sooner, it would probably be the top mission.
Definitely, I think we will come to that. But Psychosis, start with your
My scores.
opinions.
Okay, so I gave it a 9 out of 10 for atmosphere. I think it knocked it out of the park for sure. This mission felt like what Soul Forge should have been to me.
Yes,
Hell yeah.
definitely. Well said.
Gameplay, I gave it a 6.
Yeah,
I
me
thought
too.
it dragged on a little bit too long. I thought like some of the puzzles were a bit too much.
Yeah.
It felt a little key hunty. And then I gave the story a 7.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
What were
next,
your
what
favorite?
did you give?
I gave the atmosphere of 10.
Okay.
The gameplay of 7 and story 7.
Ah, so you have 24 points, right?
Yeah, he has 24, and I have
And
I have 22. And
I have 24 as well. I gave atmosphere a 10. Because this, I will remember this thing
100%
for
yeah.
years to come.
Yeah.
Gameplay is a 6 for me, and story was an 8.
Okay.
And I think this mission gets it right from the start. The first area is pretty average, I think, but then you get into the elevator.
Right.
And it gets up in that 45-degree angle first, and then it changes the direction to strict up. And I don't know if I have seen that in a thief mission before, but it was pretty cool, definitely. And then you come into that area with that totally looks like Doom, the original ones. Like it has that atmosphere. It doesn't look like that. It looks a bit better, thief graphics, fancy and stuff. But but you come into that, and of course, you need to have fog turned on, and it's really like, like, okay, this will be interesting. And then you get down that long staircase, and then you already get the idea of what is to come. Like, it's so the atmosphere is so thick, and I think then pretty early you get like, was it an audio message? I think it was something like that, right?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you get down those long staircase, and then you come into the first area of the main area, and there is a little audio message, I think.
Oh yeah,
and
exactly.
Which is like, okay, this is like System Shock or Bioshock, like, and then you go on, and then the door opens, and that little spider child of Karis comes out, and you're like, oh my god, what should I do? And then it just gets there and eats sand. And it's like, okay, and the whole thing goes on and on and on. Like, okay, then you come to that museum, and it's like, whoa, and then you go on, and it's like where you have those. I like that. It's like a laboratory stuff, the thing, and there is that little moving piece of meat. You remember that?
Moving piece of meat.
Yeah, there's like I think there's like a sink or a pot or something, or a pan, something like that, and I think there's like a moving piece of meat, like they do some experiments on that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like in movies when they electrify a piece of meat or a muscle, and then it just
like
makes
twitches.
some movements. Yeah. And that was so great, even in that shitty graphics. It was so amazing, and it's not, it's mechanist themed totally, and
100%,
but you have new characters, new models, and the atmospheres, and you see the whole place screams at you like, okay, this place is going down, or was going down, and is still.
This is again, like it's like how I imagined Soulforge the first time I played it. Like going into it, I was like, oh, this is going to be like a mechanist, like
utopia,
citadel or something. Yeah, and then
like what Hitler wanted
Soulforge
to build.
was kind of
yeah,
and then like Hitler.
Yeah, he wanted to build that huge. I don't remember the name, but I saw like
I could imagine
scale.
it. I'm not shocked that someone like that would think of that, but but then you get into here, and it's just like whoa. And then like the background like drone of the whole everywhere you go, and you're like you just feel dread like everywhere, and it was great. Like I actually really liked that.
Yeah.
And then like I said, if the gameplay just wasn't as kind of grating at some points to me, it would have been even better. And then
What does that
the
mean?
story, what?
The grading gameplay.
Like I said, like the key hunting, or having to find like little switches, or having to like make heads and tails of some of the readables in order to find out how to do a puzzle. Like to me, it just, that part was a little bit annoying, and frustrated me for sure. And then I gave it a 7 on story. I might bump it up to an 8 now that I think about it. But I just I felt, even though Karis's, the ending in Soulforge was perfect to me, at least, like locking him in with all the gas and then killing him that way. So like I felt a little salty, like how did this fail? Like how did we fail? I feel like if Garrett had failed in Soulforge, he wouldn't have came here.
Yeah.
This like little builder's paradise, whatever it's called. I think that's actually literally what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like he wouldn't have been able to come here because he would have died. But yeah, like so I might bump that up to an 8. I feel a little mean on that one.
I think actually I liked the reveal.
Really?
Yeah, for me it was because the whole time, at the beginning, you're like, there has to be something to it, and maybe, and then he reveals himself pretty early, actually, if I remember right. And how was the voice done? I don't remember if it was cut together
Karis's
or
voice.
Yeah, or did someone?
I think
do the voice?
I think he got someone to do it. I didn't really like the voice, to be honest. But then again, it did actually sound kind of like Karis.
Yeah, if I would have known my best friend Stephen Russell earlier, then maybe we could have dealt with that. But yeah, I'm
That's
sorry,
funny.
it was too late. Yes, but it was okay. Better than using text to speech.
Oh God!
But we will come to that.
We'll come to that.
But next, what are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts on this one is, I'm not a fan of Soulforge. I'm not a fan of walking into factories and stuff like that. I'd rather visit the nobles. But I don't know why, but as soon as I started the game, for me, a lot of times it's that first impression that kind of kicks it off. Yeah. But as soon as I saw saw the first screen, heard the ambience, I was like, maybe it was just a good day, but I want to start creeping around, and I did, and I know I spoke with Alex because actually I didn't finish the mission at the end because, like you said, the key hunty thing, it was just too much, and I sort of like to play in a way that even if nobody's around, I don't want to make any clinking noises. And there's a lot of
metal.
A lot of metal.
It's mechanism.
Which makes sense,
Yeah.
but like
it does make sense, yeah. But I know Alex said that when you get outside and then you get down the staircase and there's the voice message, and he's like, at the beginning, and I was like, what do you mean at the beginning? It took me like over an hour to get here, because but
Why?
that speaks because it was filled with atmosphere and I was going slow everywhere. I tried to do as little load saving as I could. I kind of soaked it in, like I wasn't rushing, so that's why it took. I might also have been doing some door glitching a few places. I didn't really use it in the end, but it was like taking my time with it. So that part was nice, and I especially like the fact that a lot of times you have a mission where you're going into a manor, you're going into a bank or any place, and it's middle of the night and it's full of guards, and the people like, yeah, but the murder happened. I don't care. I don't want to be there when I'm almost expected, or there are so many people that are bound to see me. Here it felt like, I know that with the reveal and everything, he must have known about Garrett at some point, but at least from the start, it felt like I was there and nobody was expecting me. There were there were things. It wasn't overpopulated. It was just fun to go around because of that, and I didn't feel like I had to wait for a patrol every 5 seconds, and then I'd wait and I'd go that direction. Oh, it's a dead end, and now I have to do the patrol again, and where it almost feels like they're waiting for you, looking for you. And this one didn't have that. So the exploration on this one was very nice.
What you say here? Sorry that I interrupt you, but you say one very important thing, because I had the same feeling. Like, you come here, and especially at the beginning, I think it's like this museum kind of thing, and there is like that one strange. I don't know if it's a child of Karas or whatever, but it's a strange character, and you see him and. Yes, you have the feeling like, yeah, he's not looking for me. He's not here to protect this building against me. And what I also really like, that it's really believable that all those machines still are walking around this area. Maybe they are half destroyed, but they wouldn't say like, oh, this place is falling apart, I should leave. No, it makes total sense that they are still walking their programmed circles. And that gave me a feeling that I don't know if I ever had that before. Like, that this was, but please go on.
So it had that for it. Also with the restrictions that were put in place, I'm very surprised in what was achieved here, because it was just... It felt like custom resources were suddenly allowed to be used, but if you do look closely,
it's all from stock. Like
exactly.
He slightly edited like some of the, or like he mashed them together, and like the like a lot of the robots, I believe he just joined together like a bunch of like pipes and stuff, which was fucking awesome, actually.
Yeah.
He I think he even remade from the Life of the Party demo when it was called the Uninvited Guest.
Yes.
I like remember the one part in the briefing where there's like that steam, like otherworldly looking like robot. I think he like made that like an actual like enemy. If you remember correctly, you would have to remember the briefing. There's like that one part with like it's like a bucket head like robot almost.
Yeah.
I think he made that into like an actual enemy in there, which was I thought that was awesome.
The whole thing, we have to say that the whole architecture, the whole looks,
100%.
Everything is so amazing, especially at the beginning, I would say. And later, I like those where you first think those are statues, but actually they can see you, and then they follow you. That was amazing. That
what was the name of that one that like followed you around the whole map again?
I don't remember.
He was a bitch. I remember that one. It was like Colonel or something.
It's like in Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Like
Mr. X or whatever. Yeah,
Mr. X.
But that's what he's called in the game.
Yeah, I know. It's stupid. But Japanese people games they do stuff like that. But yes, and all the time. Even Next just pointed out that you don't have the feeling that there's like guards everywhere or someone guarding, but still you had that pressure. And what I really like is, this whole mission has everything I don't like except haunts and zombies. But I wanted to go on. I like, okay, I'm afraid of what is coming behind that corner, but I want to know what is coming behind that corner.
Yeah, totally.
And this is like some achievement I can really appreciate.
Yeah, like I can appreciate this mission. I think it's like absolute wizardry, like whoever made it. Like I think it's fantastic, but it's just the gameplay is the only thing that I would just look at and be like, ugh. I think that came together at last second.
The gameplay is not a problem in itself, but as you two already said, that it's a bit too long. It sometimes less is more. But on the other hand, I can understand if you have this amazing idea, and you are able to pull it off, like he or she or it did. Maybe it was Karas, Lady Karas. But if you are able to do that, and you have maybe all those ideas, then you don't, and you see that you can make it in time. I think you don't, say like, maybe it's a bit too much. And I think you put that in. So, but yeah, I see your point. I totally agree.
I totally want to see more from this author.
Yeah.
And at the end, it's psychosis.
I mean,
yeah,
I love that. We can actually hype him on. But one more thing I'd like to say. One thing that really stood out for me was that point where we come outside, and I think it's like a broken bridge,
rusted,
and you see those little you see the rust heaps, and and it clicks. These were actually people that are lying here, and
that's probably honestly like the best moment in the whole contest for me, like of any mission. Like coming and seeing that, like the most memorable moment.
Yeah, I agree. I agree too. I don't know why, but it had this Half-Life theme to me. It reminded me of that. Like I was up on the what's the
on the elevator
tower
ride at the start? Oh no.
No, the actual what's it? Not cathedral, but the the big tower.
Yeah.
In Half-Life 2, yeah.
Yeah. It's just the whenever you would walk to the edge of that, right? You would get the same feeling of complete isolation. You're in a man-made structure. However, it feels like you're on a mountain, and it's like nobody there, even though there's corpses and all that. I don't know. Yeah, it's just there's not much there, but it brings so much.
Yep. I think I really want to. That must be someone who already has released several missions. I think.
I know who it is. I know who
I know that you know, but let's ignore that fact. No, but I don't know. Atmosphere 10 out of 10 from me, and this story is 8 because I totally like the whole idea, and I actually am wondering that no one earlier came up with something like that.
Yeah, right.
Because when I thought about it, it's like, yeah, that's a pretty obvious thought actually. Like
what if Garrett failed?
Karras was that Hitler comparable guy. He was crazy and out of his mind, and he, of course, he wants to build bigger and bigger and things for his race. And that is it's so amazing. And I have to admit, I didn't finish it either because it was a bit too much, because it was like I played all of the missions in 2 or 3 days, but I will definitely come back to this one when I have the time and the right mindset to really get into this. I was close to Karras, and then it was like, oh no.
You have to set aside like a good chunk of time to play this one.
And you need nerves. But still, it has so many things I normally don't like, but still it's done so well, and that is something to achieve. That is a great work. So
indeed.
Yeah, we mostly agree on. I think this is the one we mostly agreed on.
Actually,
Distant Feast, yeah.
Distant Feast, indeed. Yeah.
So now we come to a mission. I think we agree on this one as well, mostly. It's I hope I spell it right, the Pursuance of an Inscrutable Reciprocity. Next, maybe you can assist me here.
Probably Psycho's a better choice.
The Pursuance of
Psycho's.
Yeah. The Pursuance of an Inscrutable that last word, Reciprocity.
I was not so far from that.
Yeah.
Can you maybe explain the name to me in a simpler English?
The pursuit of. Hold on, let me actually.
I can Google it by myself. So,
let me Google what these mean.
I can do that.
GORT is known for this. It's by GORT. Is it possible to understand?
It's my first criticism.
I don't know what reciprocity means, but unscrutable, it's like it's 100% sort of thing. You can't.
Reciprocity, the practice of exchanging things with others for mutual benefit. So,
I already translated it to German. Sounds original. And it could actually be a German sentence. But yeah, guys,
So,
go on. What do you think? I'm wondering.
you want? I'll just say my score. I gave it atmosphere 5, gameplay 3, story 4.
Oh, I have. So you have 12 points.
Yeah.
I have 13.
Almost.
Yes. I have atmosphere 5, gameplay 4, and story 4.
Okay.
Next.
I have 4, 3, 4.
Okay. Yeah, we're pretty close on this one as well.
For me, it falls into the same. Pretty much, I even judged it the same, but to me, it's the same as the show off.
Okay.
Falls into that category. It's also because like I said for show off, it's also a non-vertical city, a lot of unenterable buildings, and it's
a lot of empty buildings when you can enter them.
Yes.
Oh, I see. I mean, for me personally,
with fake doors and
but if you finally enter a place, it's still empty.
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
Like, they're all empty.
I just I'm having your back, buddy. Like first of all, you enter this mission. The first impression was like, looks interesting, but then the whole city is just long. It's not even alleys, or it's like boulevards. It's so vast and bright, but the buildings are so flat, and everything looks the same. The same textures. Then I don't know, GORT or whatever the name is, GORT. He has he likes wooden fences. And I'm just imagining like there's all those little gardens behind those fences that are like as high as the buildings, and like who wants to sit there? There's shadow all the time. And then you finally find a door you can open, and then you get in there, and it's like, okay, it's a room, a table, a staircase. Oh, there is a plant. Nice. And I don't know. I have to admit, I didn't finish the mission. After half an hour of boredom, I gave up. I was like, no, this mission doesn't catch me at all. I know on the forums people say like you have to give it a chance, and that it will be better. It will get better at the end. Maybe I missed a great mission at the end, but if you don't catch me after half an hour, and I'm just walking around, and grandma's crossing me every 3 minutes, but no one else. I don't know. But it's his style. I think he has.
GORT has a style for sure. Yeah,
and like I think his preferences, the things he looks at, and the details he cares for are maybe totally not my taste. So it's just not. It's not his fault. It mustn't be a bad mission. It's just not mine. Nothing for me.
Yeah, I would state the same.
I do at least find humor in that he made the expert difficulty GORT tough, because he's kind of known for making missions that are pain in the ass. Like, I'll just say it. Like, his missions are really annoying and grating sometimes.
Maybe the short form from his name is maybe just a fancy name of pain in the ass. Like the Pursuance of an Inscrutable Reciprocity. And that was the thing. Like, if you read those fancy titles, I expect a fancy mission. And this is the first bummer, like, okay, this is not fancy.
I think you said, I think you had a point where you said that, he puts his time and detail into other things. Because as far as I know, his mission for Thief Gold contest had a lot of special mechanics.
100%.
Yeah, and
go on. Sorry.
I'll just quickly finish. In this one as well, I was spotted by some guard, and then I got some message that now I'm being followed. I didn't completely understood that, because after a while I stopped playing. But it seems it has complexity that perhaps other missions don't.
GORT, like, he does this, and he did this in the other mission too. he implements things that are like mind blowing, right? Like to me as and anyone else who's like a draw editor too, like he does stuff that you're just like, huh? Like how did he pull this off in the game? Like the water in the sewers in this mission. Have you been to the sewers in this mission?
Yes, I have several times.
That's all water. Like I mean, that's all an object. He made that all one entire like object. Like, and he just used the water like texture, which like like you wouldn't know it, but like to me as an author too, I was just like, whoa, and then like that curved slope street. Like again, as a player, you wouldn't notice it, but like me or any author, like that's impressive. Like that's a lot of like complex geometry. And then he also does other little things that like in order to get his carpet to like have this certain texture in like a formation, and it's just but like the gameplay just to me is just terrible.
So he's like I can imagine it like he is a total genius in some.
Yeah, he can make things that like I wouldn't even understand how to make.
Let me explain a little story as an example.
Okay.
My stepfather, he knows the guy who invented the MP3 file format, and he's a German professor. Yeah, that doesn't matter. But the first time the guy presented that format to journalists and people, he chose some Japanese folk song to show how the quality of that little file is, and people didn't react. They were like, okay. And then someone came up like, hey, maybe you should show some popular song, like Queen or something like that, and then people will recognize like, that is just 3 megabytes big, but the average person didn't get that by that Japanese song. Well, what this means. So and I think this is comparable. Like, yes, I didn't see that. What you're describing to me is like, okay, this is some nerdy author stuff. But for me as a player, I'm playing for a story and for fun. And I don't want to jump over the same wooden fences all the time. And I can appreciate his work, and it's great when people have like that technological knowledge, because I think they will, they can help other authors as well to do things. But when it's not fun at the end,
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I see an obvious. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I just want to come later to the conversations.
Oh yeah. I mean, okay. Before we hear into that, I see an obvious solution here. I would really love to see GORT in what's the word for that? When two people work together, like a team effort, collaboration. Yeah, I would love to see GORT in a collaboration. If you had this technical brilliance and somebody who would perhaps make a gameplay
put a leash
more
on them.
Yeah. I mean, if you put like people like that together, I think something very good could come out of it.
With Pukey in combination, I think that could be a great outcome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pukey has great ideas, for the whole atmosphere and the details and the architecture and the decoration and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And
Pukey will definitely pull you in.
And I think she always was profiting from her technical partners, and that would be maybe something great. Like then you have like great curved streets. That look
like
good.
I sound like such a nerd, but like that stuff is really impressive to me.
No, I can totally imagine. Like if you know how to draw mat, then of course I'm a musician. I know things like, whoa, how did he do that? I totally know what you're talking about. But as a player, I can be the fastest rapper in the world, but if I don't like rap music, then I don't care.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. But yeah, I think we shouldn't get into those details too much. It's a matter of taste.
Yeah, that's for
For
sure.
real.
But from a gameplay perspective, the fun factor is not given.
100%. It's. I think you touched it earlier. Like everything just feels kind of like lifeless and empty, like especially inside. And it's just like
Yeah.
after like 20, 30 minutes, I'm just like I'd just rather play something else.
Yes, there are other missions. So
Yeah.
but his technical brilliance, of course, is appreciated very much, even if I don't get it. But yeah, the dialogue, that was one thing. I don't want to make fun of it, but I think he just ran out of time. So I was listening to a dialogue in that mission, an individual one. It was an original, not from the original games. So there was a woman talking to a guard, and I was pretty far away. And then I was like, they sound strange. Who is that? Who spoke that? Is it Randy Taffer again? And then I got closer, and then it's text to speech. And you hear like there's that woman like, hello guard, or hello sir, can you please tell me something about the strange place in the northeast? Oh no lady, I can tell you that. And later there's a conversation like, there's a man asking a guard for help. Yeah, hello, my ring fell into the sewers, can you please help me? I don't care what happened to you. But this is the family. It's totally takes you out of that. It's fun. I remembered that from the mission, but it was a funny experience.
Right now, when you were talking, it totally reminded me of the two robots conversing in the bank mission.
He should have hired us. We would have given him dialogues of his life.
Hell yeah.
And maybe Princess Speedrun could have done the woman, and no, but that was just funny. I can see when you are out of time and no one is reachable. What should you do?
Yeah, it definitely was an odd choice to have text to speech as the voice actors.
Yes.
Collaboration.
But now I think it's time for change.
Nice.
Yes, that's why I'm the moderator. So time for change. If I'm right, this was the one, the first, the author's first mission
ever drawn
released, Slot Taffer, right? It's 1 megabyte big.
Mm-hmm.
So my SSD was burning. But
took me an hour to download it.
I don't. What, do you have German internet? Yeah, because you are still with America Online, right? So I don't really want to rate it, because if I would go in comparison to the other missions, this is a 2-3-2. But it's a first timer. I would advise nobody to take part in a contest as a first timer.
Well, I mean, it definitely is a way to get discouraged.
I know where you're going, but on the other hand, look at you, Psychosis. But we will come to that.
I mean, let's.
I can appreciate the braveness that you take part in a contest as a first timer.
Listen, like last year, I in the first anniversary contest, I made a mission.
2 years.
2 years ago now, working on it. I think that was not a good mission. And then a lot of people will try to be nice, like, oh, it was great. I think it was terrible. So, if the first one's always the roughest, and I wouldn't get discouraged if people give you bad feedback. Always look at what people are saying and try to implement that into your next one.
I know.
I'm saying this for him if he's gonna listen, or anybody who's anybody.
I think of several names at the moment.
For anyone who anyone who's listening and is scared of or nervous of making a mission, but it's not gonna be that good. It's not gonna be as good as the classics, and then I'm gonna how can I do this? Just do it. And he's already excited for his next mission. And some of the screenshots he's posted look really actually pretty good. So like, just work on it. If you really want to make a mission, just make it, and a lot of people will enjoy it and say nice things, and some people won't. It's just how.
That's what I said earlier. Like, I think first of all, this whole community is known as one of the nicest gaming communities. Whenever you look at the top 10 list of the oldest and really there are, and the Thief community is always in the top 3 in general, and one of the oldest and one of the nicest. This is what people always say. And I think we are in a position always like, okay, there is that game. It wasn't that popular. Our community isn't that big. We are eager for
anything
we get, and of course we don't want to kill the ambition of someone who, after 20 years, gets into this editor that I think is not very comfortable. I just guess.
No.
and he does that, and yes, he has the chance to improve. And I think it's always pretty, like, okay, I know this mission wasn't good, but I appreciate what you do. So what do? Do I criticize you for that? How do I put my feedback in words? That you have a learning effect, but still feel like, loved. I'm just missing a word here, but
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and this is like, so I appreciate the entry, and he has balls to take part in a contest.
That's his first one, yeah.
Yes. So you also had balls, Psychosis, back in the days. So
yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to rate it. Of course, it wasn't very good from a gameplay or architecture or whatever. But he did it. He pulled off a mission. I never did that, so I can give him that. And I'm really excited what you just said. Like, okay, how he will improve. That is great to see. I just, after the violent death of Balboa, I replayed all of Nick missions in order. And I could see the improvements, and it's amazing to see.
Nick Dablin's progress from mission to mission is insane.
Yeah, and maybe he's one of those guys that really improves very fast, and in 3 years he gives us like a very memorable mission. Like when we are like, oh, cool, and he was time for change, amazing. Like that he's now there. So what would you guys say if you want to rate it?
So you can't do that. You can't be like, I'm not going to give my ratings.
I gave my rating out. I said 2.32. That would be my rating.
I gave it all 4s to be nice.
Yeah, it's the author's bonus, right?
Yeah.
Next Psychosis of approval. Seal of approval. Sorry.
Well, I gave it 3.33. I also want to say, the message you gave out, Alex, is a good one, a great one. However, I want to ruin it just a little bit.
Yeah, do that
by pointing out morbid curiosity. And
I thought of that when I thought about the sentence today.
Listen, it's very rare. All right, like don't do that. All right, that's a very rare. And hey, it took her like 6 years or something, 5 years to make it, and she scrapped like 4 other missions. So I mean, she was basically experienced by the time she actually made it.
Yes. And
he made this in like 2 months, I think. He made this in 2 months. He started in February, I think he said.
Yeah, it's always
January.
Time.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes you appreciate Pukey's talent.
Yeah, but she still had a lot of help from people.
And a lot of help, yeah. He did this all on his own, I think.
I don't want to make this Pukey's thing smaller, because we invited her because it was great. But yeah, that's the thing of a comparison. Like as I said in our pre-talk, like how do you want to compare Feast of Pilgrims, Builder's Paradise, and Into the Art in points and stuff like that. It's there's always a story behind it and a different approach. So he entered a contest, and that was cool.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like I said, like just if he's listening, I don't know if he will, but don't be discouraged.
Of course, you will. The whole community.
Oh yeah,
listens to this
everyone will
podcast.
listen. Of course. What am I saying?
I just write Stephen Russell on the episode, then it will work.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
we can move on
I
now.
will write like something like, okay, contest episode without Stephen Russell, and people just read like, oh, Stephen Russell again?
No
Ding,
way.
ding, ding.
Talking of first timers, Psychosis. I think we come to your mission now, right?
Would that be? I didn't vote for it, obviously, because
What is your rating?
Oh, 10, 10, 10. Of course, this is a classic. This mission.
What? Same as mine.
Wow.
I gave it 777. No, I didn't.
No, yeah, no, it's fine to be honest.
No, I gave it 777, right?
I know. I'm saying that it's you don't have to be scared to say that or anything. If you want to, if you guys want to rip into it right now, go ahead.
I think the mission,
or else I will. All right, because there's a lot of issues that I have with it.
I mean, if we
I'm
go,
annoyed.
if
first
we
of all,
do
you don't like the author, right?
If we do criticize it,
guy.
if I do criticize it, will you still help me break windows?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1. No, I'm kidding.
Well, okay. Well, what did you give it a rating?
I give it a 677.
Okay.
And all in all, it was
Who's the nicer guy here.
For me, it's fourth, or it's fourth. Way to change it here a little bit. It should be tied with 10 Little Taffers for the 4th place.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, it should be tied with.
Well, he's saying with his scores, I think.
You mean just by the points?
Yeah.
Okay, because this is for me the other 4th place with
Fierce, right? Was it?
Yeah, fierce competition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. First of all, what I really liked is to see the progression from your first entry in the last contest, which was it was not bad, but it was just an average mission, like a blocky garden and a blocky house and some corridors and rooms to the left and right, and some things happening, and it was okay. But this time I was really and I really had to calm down, that it doesn't affect my rating so much. To see, okay, I just have had problems looking at this mission just as the mission. So without your progress, but
everyone in the testing was saying that they were always bringing up the old one, and I was like, forget about that. Forget about that one. Like how does this stand on its own?
Yeah, but it stands on its own very good, I think.
Thank you.
What? First of all, when I entered the mission, of course, I read the objectives like, oh, the rent is due and you need some money. And I was like, really, dude? But then, I don't know if you want to answer that, but you did that on purpose. I think it's a joke, or isn't it?
Yeah, I was just like, the quintessential, rent is due. Ha ha ha, let's go get it.
Because when you play the mission, then you see there is so much humor in it and so many references to typical thief things and to like the story and the characters. But then you get the idea, like, okay, this would really fit into the whole process. Like you're just making like what did I write? This Wonderland for thief fans.
I wanted it to kind of almost be like a little bit of a love letter to the TTLG forums and any sort of user who I found funny or like kind of like how Pukey did it but to a lesser degree, how she made like store owners like Rowena's, curse shop. I think I actually had like Lady Gloria's psychic readings, and I had like Through the Steamy Glass Inn or bar, I called it.
I couldn't read Alex or Nex anywhere. I was wondering.
You know, I forgot about the 111. Yeah. I made like Russ and Rob, who are Yandros and Random Taffer, like their law offices. I made Pukey,
but
their
they are
secretary.
still not Alex and Nex, so I don't.
Tell the maintenance guy Tanner to please shut off the lights.
Tanner, yeah.
Why wasn't there
I hate that in missions. Like I really hate that in missions when people are like, "Oh, it's wacky like this because this readable here." But like I just wanted to put that in because it's like a cliche at this point.
But I'm still at the Alex and Nex thing. Why isn't there a
you guys are
what would have been amazing if there would have been a Victrola that plays the intro of the podcast? That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, lack of creativity. No. Sometimes you should ask some clever guys from the community what they could add. No, but what I love. So first of all, I think the whole city has a great atmosphere and everything feels right. You have like it's not too big, it's not too small, but it gives you the impression of a city part, and there's a lot of indoor areas you could enter. It has a bit of a skaggy feeling, I think, and since you are close, I could imagine like that this is some of your inspiration. And then what I really like is that all the places, especially the little apartments, they look very detailed. You have a lot of, what was it cheese lying around?
No, that was the other mission, Fierce Competition.
No, but in your mission there was something lying around very often as well.
Well, it was not cheese. It took me a while to find apples to get onto the roof.
Yeah, it was. But what I like is everything is pretty detailed. There's always little bookcases and stuff, so it feels inhabited. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the mission lives from its humor, especially the moment. I love that when the two mechanists talk about the children of Karis, or the whole design of every of the machines,
right?
And where they then criticize very politely and silently.
Does it need his voice and face or something?
The face resemblance, like, isn't that a bit over the top? Like, wouldn't that be weird? And there are so many little things that gave me smiles. And yeah, I think the gameplay is pretty basic, but well done. It's solid. So yeah, that's why it's an over average rating from my point of view. 21 points.
I mean, for me, I'll be honest. From the start, it felt like the city area a little bit too blocky. I would love to see more details, more interesting lighting. That, because suddenly when you go to the cathedral section, or the interior of the cathedral, at least, I felt like I had more choices. Everything looked a little bit better. It felt like you put more time into that. However, the basement felt a little bit too mazy for me.
Yes.
I just didn't. That's the point. But that was the what I did the last explore down there. And you're a little bit burned out because I did the whole light. There are missions where I played, not my style. I just went around blackjacked. This mission, I play like, this is what I expect from a city style mission. I want to have choices. I had choices. I could go there. There was this 3D dynamic where I could go here, I could go there. If it were a little bit, if there was more open, like more interior areas, so a lot more things would connect, it would be even better. But this is what I expect, and I love that part. I love the exploring around the city. So that was fun. I checked it out in the editor later on, and I realized that I missed a bunch of areas that I could have gone into. Also, I'd like to point out, I especially love the Dwinder's Manor. Just going in through the window, and
there's like 5 entrances, I think.
Was it that with the?
There's like 3 windows alone
with the many wooden interior.
Yeah, like thank you for that. Like, there's so many times.
to answer Alex, the one he's talking about is it's like the green brick building.
I
It's like
don't
that.
know the texture of that. It was March. So, but
Uh,
was it that where random Taffer's voice is knocking on the
Yeah.
door?
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm,
because I asked him if that's him, and he
Yeah.
didn't remember it.
How does he know? Come on.
I don't know. He
I'm
maybe he
talk
didn't
to
want to
him
talk
later.
to me. Um, no, but yeah, okay. Then I didn't like that building actually.
You didn't?
No, it was too brown. There's too much
It
wood.
was too basic. That was probably
No,
one of the first things I built.
the architecture
And
I liked, but I think it was too brownish.
yeah, no, I agree. It like if I said earlier, I was like, if you guys don't criticize it, I will. There's a lot that I'd probably redo. Like the whole difficulty, I feel like is way too easy on the mission.
No.
Really?
Like a grandma that's supporting you.
I think the mission's way too easy. Like I would have put more guards around and tried to.
It was, but yes and no. I can see your point, but I think that was one. It's like one of those missions for a Sunday evening.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I
simple.
wanted. I wanted to make
And
a
one thing I
chill
really
mission.
appreciated, there is not a lot of lockpicking. You have
Yeah.
whenever you find a door that is closed. In most cases, I already found the key for that, and all those little jewel cases. They are mostly not. There is there a locked jewel case? I think they are all open, right?
I tried not to do that because I feel like unless the person's not home, and I think I put a lot of them in their homes. So if the person's not home, I don't see why they would lock up their jewelry like while they're home. Like
Yeah.
they might even be wearing it. So I
Oh,
didn't want to, and I think lock picking
I could argue like,
is a bit
okay,
annoying sometimes.
they come home and then they unlock their jewel case because
Yeah.
now they're home, and then they're going into the living room, watching the fire, or looking what. Hey, I'm wondering what's on the fire today. No, but I love that because this was, if you want to have like a sketchy like mission, and it's all about like fast going from to the different locations and exploring the city. It's actually interesting that Geki like is already like a genre, right?
Yeah.
And but then it's always like it always keeps you up, like again, like open this and watching like 20 seconds just that violet box. And you didn't do that, and you didn't have to lockpick so many doors, so the flow was there. I totally like that, and I think the difficulty was not very important. It's it doesn't live from a difficulty level. It lives from the exploring, and you go. It's a fast in, fast out mission, and but you've seen a lot of great stuff. So nicely done.
What did you? I feel like a lot of people felt like the story was a bit basic, and
but that was okay.
Yeah, to me, it's like I struggled with that because I actually didn't know what I wanted to do, and then I had like, okay, I want to like make a cathedral, and I was like, okay, if it's Thief 2, it has to be Mechanist. But then I was like, what if I did like, because at the end of the Dark Project or Gold, there's like that cutscene where it's him and the Keeper, and they're in the snow, and they're talking about like dawn of the Middle Age, and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna put it in the middle of like Thief 1 and Thief 2. I'm gonna have it be snowing because it was snowing in the end of the cinematic, so it's probably winter. And then I wanted to like just explore that idea of like mechanists like taking over a Hammerite place and like slowly getting rid of all their quote unquote heretical symbols and all that, and so I didn't, but like unfortunately I don't think I went too far into like the readables and stuff, but I hoped I got across the message, right? Like that they're converting and they're here to stay, like they're.
And that's a good point what you're just saying. Like today I was just telling Next because we were talking about our ratings and story 7 in your mission, why, and And we were like, okay, you can have different point of views on that. Of course, some missions come like Builder's Paradise that has it starts with an amazing idea, and you just have the basic thing. But in your mission, there are so many little things that tell me so much about what is going on right now, just with environmental storytelling, and it doesn't even have to be like a conversation. It's just, and I love that part where you can see where they change the windows from Hammerites to Mechanists. There are still those Hammerites windows lying around because no one picked them up yet or destroyed them, whatever. And the new ones are partly inserted into the frames. And that is, like every time you stumble upon something like that, I actually wonder that they, in the original Thief 2 game, they didn't do it to that extent for in eavesdropping, for example.
Yeah, eavesdropping, it still feels kind of like it feels like it's already been transformed. Yeah.
Yeah, and you took this opportunity. I think that's a lot of Thief 1 fans do when they have to do something in Thief 2, that they take the time in between. That is because it's not the first time someone does that, and
I think it's an interesting time period, and it's like that transition, that's
it's a missing piece between the two games, and I think you really gave this a very interesting approach on how to sell it to the player. So I really like that. That's why its story is 7 out of 10, because there's just little things, but they add up very well. Would you agree, Nex?
Yeah.
Good.
That's it. Feed my ego more. No.
Yeah, but I have really high hopes for your next mission, Psychosis. So no, don't feel too comfy. Because
thank you.
I think you have so much potential, and we knew that you are the guy where the unknown lurks.
Again, he did it.
It's like how I knock out people, like once in a row, like. Yeah.
This is the last mission, right?
Yeah, this is the last mission. Yeah.
In the list.
You guys go on. You start Psychosis, because now we just talked about your mission, and now you can give a rating.
Where the unknown lurks. I had a lot of issues rating this one. One, because it's kind of conflicting in how it's structured. Also, I know the person who made it, and he's also a speedrunner again. So I didn't want to be too biased.
You already have half of the community against you. I know that you don't want to.
I gave it an 8 out of 10 on atmosphere, a 6 out of 10 on gameplay, and a 4 out of 10 on story. So that comes out to 18. Yeah.
Okay.
What'd you give it?
I give it a 7 for atmosphere, 3 for gameplay, and 5 for story. Well, for me, it was a little bit too small, and I know there's a certain section below. It just it didn't give me the right feeling. However, the atmosphere I did rank higher, because I don't know why, but it gave me this I don't know, sword.
He has interesting ideas.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll let Alex say his rating.
Yeah, I had to correct my rating today because when I played it the first time, I played it on normal, as I usually do, and I had 2 goals. I think I had to pick something up, some special item, and I had a pretty low loot goal, and I achieved all of that within 10-15 minutes. And I wasn't even on the second floor. It's
I think it just ends, right?
And on the normal setting, there's no goal get back
yeah.
to the entrance on some, and then I haven't even seen the second floor, and the mission was done. So I was like, okay, this time, Alex, grab your hands, grab your balls, and do it on expert. And and then I could still finish the mission. And then I looked over the forums because I had the feeling, why is it called Where the Unknown Lurks? Because I haven't seen anything unknown. This was pretty standard. It was a nice building. I actually liked the house. But it was like, where the title is confusing me. And then I just found out, like, okay, there has to be a secret area. But I couldn't find it. Then 2 days ago, I think, or 3 days, Nex showed me via live stream on Discord, like he went into the draw mat and he showed me the whole map, and we were looking for a secret passage. And then we found it. Then I knew, okay, this is under that seat in the music hall. So, and then I went today, some hours ago, back into that mission, and I was like, okay, but how to move that chair? So I was walking around that hall and checking every corner and couldn't find it. And then later I saw, when I was like, panicking, running around, like, oh, where could that be? I saw, I totally missed that I could do something with the statues.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this has to be. And then I read the readable again, and I figured that part out. And I have to admit, the mission was pretty basic, I gave it with my corrected. It is 654, and what I think is it's not a good design from the author's perspective, because he creates all of this. But there is a huge possibility that you can finish the mission without ever seeing that secret place that is like the biggest part of the mission, actually. And I don't know why. I don't see why he made that decision to hide. Give me a goal, like, okay, I have to find this artifact, and I can't find it in the house. So I run around, and then I would have figured out that, I can move the statues, and then I would have gotten there, in the normal flow. But it was possible that I don't do it, and then I missed half of the mission. My rating is wrong, because or maybe not wrong, but my rating is based on a misinformed knowledge of the mission. And that's not so clever. I liked it. It's not bad, not super special, but it was okay.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I feel like I wouldn't say the only thing, but the best thing that it brings is this atmosphere that it builds up. Even though the gameplay is not where I would want it to be, it does have some feeling when you walk around that it's unique, and I'd say most of the missions don't pull it off that well from the contest. Yeah,
it's got that like very, like you said, it like sword-ish kinda vibe,
Yeah.
and it definitely, like I said, the atmosphere, like there's that little room where like there's the little like lake with the lily pads, I think, in it, and then there's like that little like blue like the thing from Zelda, the Ocarina of Time, like it's like floating around, and you hear like the little ching ching, like the little I don't know what the sound is, but like the little wind chimes.
Yeah,
and this is like the statue with the piece of loot on the head and whatever, and like it's just little things like that, like that were just like, wow, like he put a lot of like detail into here, even though it may not look like it, he put a lot of thought into it, but like it's just, why would you hide 2/3 of the mission behind a secret, and because what's above, at least to me, is kind of it's a little basic, I just said that room's pretty cool, but like it's still, basic house, boring, like there's only like one patrol, it doesn't even go through half the house, so it's easy.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Like you could easily, even if the secret would be hard to find, which is actually not, was
Yeah,
just me
it's
not
actually
finding
pretty
it.
easy. Yeah.
But I like the puzzle. The puzzle was really done well. It's simple but effective.
Mhm.
What was confusing me, because in that text you get where the king's story with his
The betrayers or whatever.
with the betrayers and his friends is described, they say like their heads were chopped off, and you need to turn his friends towards you or backwards to you with the facing you or not,
and it wasn't clear which way exactly. Yeah.
right, because their head is like a shiny there's that shiny thing, and I didn't know, is this meaning like their head is chopped off, or is this some gloriness on there because they are his friends? So it's not bad because you turn them in one way and then you see, okay, it doesn't work. So then you walk around that circle and you click on every statue, and then they will turn into the correct direction. But the riddle, the puzzle, I really liked, and it would have been totally simple to make players find that by just adding a goal that can only be achieved in that secret area. So after a while, if I don't find it, I run around, I check everything twice, and then I will find that. So yeah, it's a strange decision. Doesn't make the mission bad at the end, but missed opportunity.
And it's definitely even worse on normal, right? Because on normal you can get the item and the loot, and then the mission just ends.
Yeah,
so you don't even have the chance to go and find it.
The mission will end wherever you find the loot goal. If you have found that artifact or whatever,
because there's no get back to where you started.
Yeah, that is a strange decision. I wonder. That was my theory I told next today, that maybe who was the author?
Skejven? I don't know how you. I think he's Polish.
Skeki. So it's the Polish Skeki. And I don't know. I think sometimes like really experienced players get the idea that maybe the normal difficulty should be like for babies. They can't and shouldn't find all the secrets. I hate it when like a normal difficulty doesn't give you all the secrets available.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And like why shouldn't I be able to get back to the beginning or whatever? I don't know. It's just a theory, because I think nowadays this doesn't happen, because I think most people have recognized that there is a reason why, in general, there's a goal to get to a specific point when you have achieved everything, because you still want to explore. But yeah, I don't get the idea why he didn't consider this. But it's strange. But interesting to talk about this mission.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's just odd, and it's not into it. It's no, okay.
But at least the title gives away that there has to be something below.
Yeah. Which is why I found your comment when you were like, "Where is the unknown?" Like I think you wrote that on your page.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, he probably didn't even find the
the
tomb," and then you didn't.
I have to fix my review on that. But luckily the podcast made me find it. So thanks, Alex, for making the podcast. Yeah, thanks, buddy. No problem.
And then so the atmosphere is really good. The gameplay, I said, is kind of I think it's too easy and empty.
And it's standard.
Yeah, and then I gave it a 4 out of 10 on story, which is maybe a little mean, but it was tied with Fierce Competition for me, and I thought Fierce Competition was better, and I didn't want to bump up Fierce Competition, so I took a point away from this. And I took it from story because the story just kind of feels too.
You would be a good teacher.
Put in at the last second, like it was just kind of.
Yeah.
I think it's like, what was the name of the guy? Like Lord Plumpies or something. It's like something. It was like a silly name. And I was like,
an author.
Lord Taffer.
I totally like the house. that I like it because most missions are like big and they want to show you something. And I liked it the first time I entered the mission. Like, oh, this is not such a big place. Actually, I like it. It's cozy. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I really like the house. And because what I liked is that you can still enter from many sides. You can go through you can climb up that tower, and then you can jump over to the roof and go through those windows.
The window, yeah.
And yeah, I like the place, and I also like when you are in that Hammerites area.
The tomb, yeah.
This was really cool, like with that tower like shape and in the middle with all those statues, and this was really cool architecture. Actually, I think I liked it, and this added a lot because the thing what you do is totally basic, but it was interesting at least.
Yeah, I think you just find your way to like because when you get into the tomb, then for some reason it adds like an optional objective.
Yeah.
And then you can go and find like I think it's like a book or something.
Yeah.
And it's just at the end of the tomb, obviously. And then you can leave, I think, through like one of the like the tunnels there.
Yes. You can. Under the staircases or something like that.
Yeah. Shout-outs to him using the drill from
Yeah!
Mission Cargo. That like I've never seen in a fan mission because I think everyone thinks it's stupid.
No, there have been
I haven't
one
seen
or
it, at
two,
least, yeah.
but yeah, it's always a nice thing to see it, yeah, and it made sense
Because
to
they drilled it
put
into
it there.
yeah.
I always imagine, because this thing is totally stupid. The drill is bright and short, and then this is like a cabrio, like it has no roof and nothing to save the guy who's controlling it. So you must. How did that work? Because the drill is smaller than the device. It can't work. How should they make a hole, but the whole machine wouldn't fit into that hole? So how do they do that? And I always imagined it like in a cartoon, like how this mechanists are like, like going through that and having fun. But yeah.
Disassemble, maybe?
Maybe it's just for ore. Like it's not meant to dig. It's meant to just get like ore, like from the side of a roof cave or whatever.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Still, it's that
and the submarine from the game always irked me. From a technological standpoint.
Yes.
It felt too out of place.
Yeah,
I'm talking in the base game, yeah.
But actually, but I like that one. I think that was an interesting idea.
Yeah, it just felt.
It looked like what is
odd.
it called, the Nautilus?
Cetus Amicus.
No, but the original, the book.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
We call it Nautilus in German, so maybe it's Nautilus in English. I don't know. But yeah, this have been all the missions. I don't know how long are we talking right now. It's like
it's almost 3 hours going on it. I think it's like 2.5 now.
Yeah, we had a pre-talk.
Wow, you were right, Alex. I did not.
Yeah, and next was today. I don't know if this mission this episode will be very long, because if we go through, and I was like, hey, wait, we say that all the time, like maybe this will be a shorter, and we could even make on eavesdrop like 90 minutes or something like that. So yeah, but then so let's make it quick now. We have two topics. First of all, I think this would make sense because next you brought it up today in the pre-talk. The rule set was a bit. Yeah, you had some problems with the rules of the content. So please explain that. I just go to the toilet in that time.
Yeah, sure. I just want to ask first, Alex. I'm sorry, Psychosis.
I'm on the toilet.
Oh, okay. Did you like the rule set? Do you have problems with it? Psycho?
Okay. I see. I have to rescue the strange break.
Yeah, I guess we're making a break.
So
I'm gonna go.
Please,
I'm gonna go to the
I'm
toilet.
good. I'm good now. Shit. Sorry.
Okay.
you know, this episode went so well, and you guys
No,
effed it
like
up
right
at the end.
at the wrong time. I had someone asking me something. Yeah.
Yeah, Nex was asking you something, and you didn't answer it.
Okay. Ask. All right. Are we gonna go? Again?
Sure. Let's have a clap for Supreme so we can edit.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, I just want to ask you, like, but then again, you already answered that it kind of helped you just start moving. I'm talking about the rule with the using the resources that are already available. Well, the problem that I have with this rule is I feel like it's unnecessarily limiting the authors, and mainly, I mean, yes, it does create missions that look more like the original missions did. But a lot of time in gaming, whenever you're talking about the games that are, very old at this point, you'll have people that are not fans of the game say it's mostly nostalgia. It's nostalgia keeping you up, and I feel that with Thief, it's far from nostalgia, right? I feel like this concept that Thief offers has grown over the years, and it still holds on, even for because we do have new people coming in that didn't. I mean, you yourself haven't played the game. I mean, you played the game far after it was originally released. So for me, it's like just limiting, and I'm
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's.
And this kind of cements that we're just bringing nostalgia up, and with the mission being released count dropping over the years, I would rather have players, players have access to new missions that were unrestricted, because like we said a couple of times during this episode, is that we've grown accustomed to new standards, and a lot of the missions, because of the lack of high-res textures, because of the lack of the new objects, they didn't pull me in as much as they would.
No, it's kind of like when it was first announced, I really liked the idea. Because I mean, it still does make sense, right? It's at least to me, it's a contest that's celebrating like the game itself. So it would make sense, like, to have the rules be like, hey, you know what? Just make a mission like how they would have with the textures and stuff that they would have back then. So and I think it makes it a lot easier for new people to try out, because they don't have to worry about importing stuff or how to set things up. They could just install it and build, and like I said earlier, it helped me do that. The only issue I had was we just had a competition like that for the first game, and then immediately the next competition is the same rule set pretty much. And as time went on, I kind of like was thinking about it. I was like, maybe we should have, maybe we should have at least tried to differentiate it a little bit and try to make it maybe just no restriction, and just be like, hey, just make a mission for the game, And I feel like it would have maybe brought in more authors. Like, for example, well, he ended up releasing it anyway, but Nicked wanted to make a mission for the contest, and his what was it again? The downfall of, or the death of the mission he just released. I can't remember the name, but the violent end of Duncan Malvin. That's what. That was supposed to be for the contest, but he was too ambitious, and he decided he had to remake everything with custom objects, or to save on some cells and stuff. And that would have been released with the contest, and if there was no restrictions, and it would have probably made the contest more of a success, as I'm sure there would have been maybe others who felt like they could have released a mission but didn't want to be constrained like that. So I'm still conflicted on it. Yeah,
I see. Or maybe next, can you make your point clear? What you told me today, what your thoughts are on that?
Could you elaborate?
Yeah, you said that you think that the limitation limits the fun. That was the conclusion of what you said. Like you want to play missions that are fun, and you like new elements, and there are great new elements. And then I argued, like I get your point, but I think it didn't happen in this contest so much, except for Builder's Paradise, which is, and I think this is part of the experience, like that you can see what is an author able to do with that limitations.
Yeah.
And in the last contest, I think we have seen that more. We have seen like really innovative and creative constructions made out of that wouldn't have been possible without extra materials and files, but they were creative, and they created things with stock. How do you call the basic
stock resources?
Stock resources. And that was like, that is amazing to see. Like that is so creative. That's amazing. Like a turbine made out of, I don't know. I know that there was something that really impressed me, but I can't recall what it was in the first contest. But on the other hand, what you just said, Sekos, I was pretty sure when I played Nicked Missions, and I love it, and we will talk about it in the near future. That I was like playing it and like, this would have been one of the more outstanding missions for the contest. But on the other hand, what would be the point of the contest for Thief 2 Metal Age 20 anniversary if you just, if you make it like the rules, okay, it's a contest, cool, but it's just missions that would be released like
would have been released
over
anyway.
time,
but
now they are all released in a specific in March, and it's what would be the point? But of course, on the other hand, you are right again, this contest is way too close to the other, but what maybe we should have waited for 25 anniversary contest, then the batteries of the authors would have been refreshed. And I can see why. I was pretty sure that not so many people would take part in it.
Every contest has to have like a gimmick, like you have some sort of rule set. So I can get it. It's just like I said, it's just the last one also had this gimmick. Maybe you could have tried something else.
What would have been amazing? Like, for example, like take the story and the objectives of an original mission, but create your whole new environment around it. Like like imagine like then Builder's Paradise could have been what is it called?
Soulforge.
It could have been like, he could have named it Soulforge, but this is like how he imagined it. And you could take I don't know. You could have put in GORT's mission. Maybe you could have put like an interesting following, mostly, whatever. I just making things up now, but that would have been like a still celebrating the original game, but with an interesting twist.
Yeah,
that would actually be a great idea for a contest.
That would be a good idea, actually.
Hey,
look at you.
Yeah. So next contest in 1 year starts today. You're so
Rework the OMs.
and we call it the Inside at Last contest. No, but yeah, I think there's always like two parts of it, but yeah, I'm happy to have a what yeah, don't write me funny messages. So let's come to a conclusion. Or next, sorry, did you want to add something to, because you came up with the idea to talk about the limitations of the contest?
Well, you pointed out in the question that it would be fun to see what authors are able to do with such restrictions, and yeah, I see a fun part in there, but like I said, with the missions, with the amount of missions, being decreased, and I hope in the future this rises up again. I would rather have, give authors free space and let them express fully, because we do want to more limitations. I feel like if you restrict the author, maybe in a few cases, let's say out of 10, you would get a mission that would be more inspired than something, some people maybe work better under pressure. But I feel that, that the majority would perform better in an open environment. And I also have a question for Psychosis. This is something that, kind of boggled me just now. Is it true that the rule set was the same as for the Thief 1?
Yeah, they're both. I'm pretty sure, like, if you look at the rules side by side, it's 1-to-1.
Really?
The only addition is or the only difference, sorry, is for the Thief 1 contest, you could only use Thief 1 stock resources, and for this one, you could use Thief 2 and Thief 1 stock resources. And I feel like that was a bit of a cop out for the people who wanted to make a mission but didn't want to use Thief 2 only.
We have seen in Feast of Pilgrims how that turned out
and stuff, yeah. And I would definitely probably revoke.
It does feel like maybe it's just the result that's speaking, but it feels like in the Thief 1 contest you could have, or was it at least just more obvious that you had you could only use resources derived from the so it's, I mean, that was the same here too. It's like derived just means like taking one of them, like one of the textures, and maybe like upping its contrast or changing, like there's that like the keeper wallpaper that's green and like changing it to blue or red or whatever. Yeah, so that's what they mean by that. It's just like slight color changes or something, to differentiate it. Well, I guess just maybe because of Scarlet Cascabel and maybe a couple others from the Thief 1 contest, it did feel like the rule sets were different. That's why I pointed this thing out.
Trust me. Like, I think this contest didn't have as many. Like, the only mission to me that kind of did a lot with its resources, like stock derived, was the Builder's Paradise. I feel like every other mission, like, literally only just used the stock textures or like Thief 1 textures. Like, they didn't really edit them a lot. Whereas in the first contest, I feel like almost all of the missions like did it in some way, like Lost Among the Forsaken, like
because
added
the game
moss to all of them.
Because the game isn't that good, so they had to give it some extra, fancy stuff.
Yeah, it's weird how they like the differences between those were.
So first, what do you guys guess? Or what do we guess? What will be the top 3 at the end in the ratings? Please give your ideas. Next.
Or you can go ahead.
Yeah, so the top 3, I guess in order, what I think it's going to be versus what I think it should be. It's going to probably be Feast winning, and I think Into the Odd's going to come in second, and then Builder's Paradise third. And I think it should be Into the Odd winning, and Feast second. But that's just me. So
Interesting.
I have Feast winning. Yeah.
So you think it will win?
Like I think Feast will win,
but you want
but I want Into the Odd to win. Yeah.
That is very interesting because I have the totally different opinion on that.
I think it just.
But I think it really suits the draft because as I said earlier, like 2 hours ago, that Feast of Pilgrim will definitely be the first place. And then after I played the others and I thought about the community and how they are, I was like, Into the Odd. I think Into the Odd will be winning.
Really?
Yes. For whatever reason. No, it definitely. I could agree with that. And Feast of Pilgrim will be second, and Builder's Paradise third. But I don't know. Builder's Paradise maybe.
It could be a dark horse,
Yes, but I see how often Feast of Pilgrim and Into the Odd are up into the FM forums.
Yeah, like
and
everything.
This gives you an idea. I think it will be a race between those two. But Builder's Paradise, I think, will definitely be the third. I also would agree if this would be first. Those three.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I want them to be Feast of Pilgrim and 2 and 3. I'm not sure. I loved Builder's Paradise, so it would be my sympathy choice for second place. But second place for Into the Odd would also be totally legit. And first, I don't care who wins. I like them all. But I can see the reason why people would vote them highest for individual reasons.
Well, I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to say Feast first, and I'm going to say Builders second, and then Into the Odd.
I would love that. I agree so much with you next today. That is amazing. I really fell in love again. It's half a year and we had a relationship break and now we're back.
But yeah, I think but I do see your argument here, Alex, with the Into the Odd. I never thought about it until you pointed it out, and maybe I heard Psychosis, speak of it so fondly. I think that it has a potential of gaining the favor of the Thief 1 community, but we'll see. It has its problems.
And that will be fake votes because, that what I said, like it's our Thief 2 contest. And what is your general conclusion of the contest in comparison to the Thief 1 contest?
I would say what you said earlier was on the nose. I think there should have been more breathing time between the two contests. I think that's what this contest suffered from. We did get good missions, but I just the quantity, and I just can't forget Rose Garden. I can't forget Cascabel.
I feel like it's just like disappointing, but not like oh it's terrible. I'm just saying disappointing as in like in comparison to the first one, because the first one got so many submissions and from like so many like prominent like good authors. And I'm not saying you have to be a prominent author to make your mission worthwhile, but like like DRK, Skaki, Milan, like we got like all the big guns coming out, and then this one, the random Taffer definitely, and whoever Diefugger and Croissantine, what was their names? It was like two joke names. They knocked it out of the park, and so did
they must be German and French.
Yeah, it's just the missions here is still enjoyable. But it's just like but then it's just compared to Thief 1 contests, it's just like, dang, like you're just like, if only it could have been like that again,
But I
in terms of like turnout.
I agree, but one thing for me is very important to this in comparison from the first contest. Only Scarlet Cascable is still on my mind, and for good reasons.
Rose
Garden is amazing.
Scarlet Cascable. What I find really interesting is that Scarlet Cascable had nothing to do with Thief 1.
Nope.
This mission was totally not a Thief 1 mission. If I wouldn't know I'm playing a Thief 1 game and see screenshots and everything, I would totally that's a Thief 2 mission. But it won for good reasons, and I think it was the right winner. But and that was interesting, like how I went into this contest, like, oh yeah, now it's Thief 2. This was the one I was looking for. And then the first thing I play is random and Marbleman's mission, and it's like, oh yeah. I think at the end that the top 3 missions we said it's the top 3 missions. It's just our opinion, but I think they will hold up for a longer time. Yes,
okay.
There were less entries, and the average quality seems to be maybe a bit lower, but I still think that those missions, apart from the contest, will still be something that people would talk about in years. And I think the first contest, except Scarlet Cascabel, didn't have that. I don't remember Rose Garden, and I know I replayed it after Next one time said, oh, it was amazing. I was playing it again and was like, oh yeah, and now I don't remember it, So that is my opinion. Like, okay, maybe it was a bit underwhelming from if you look at it first sight, but the top 3 missions are like something you won't forget so fast.
For sure.
Yeah, and just like it just popped up in my head, but I'm curious to see like the 4th place race.
Yes,
right.
Yes, because of you.
Like shut up. Okay. Yes, because of me, but like everyone, everyone I've talked to kind of has those 3 in their top 3 in like some order, not. But like to me, it's like who's gonna be the next one, Because I think there's a lot of good missions that could fight for it.
There's 3 contestants. Let's name them. There's your mission, like Troubling Transitions, Fierce Competition, and Where the Unknown Lurks, I think, would be the race for place 4.
I would say 10 Little Taffers.
10 Little Taffers. I feel like that one's been getting a lot of love on the forums because of how unique it is.
Yeah, I would say Troubling.
Yeah, okay, yeah, maybe.
Superior competition.
Yeah. You know what? The 10 Little Taffers, I totally, put that out of my contest mind because I still have the mindset.
It's so far from Thief,
Make like no, but like I want a re-release of that. Do that. The podcast guys told you. And I will call Stephen Russell if that doesn't happen. And then he will delete all the Garrett sound files from the original games on your computers if you don't, because he has the right on his voice. And
so yeah, what do you guys think?
What?
Which is going to be the 4th out of these 3?
Yeah, I just said I think it will be a race between the ones I named. But 10 Little Taffers, is possible. So
is a dark horse too, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be fierce competition just because of the size. Because compared to Troubling Transitions and 10 Little Taffers, it's small. Now between these 2, I really couldn't say. I think if people were going for a standard mission, because the 10 Little Taffers bring something new, but it also disappoints in a place where Troubling Transition is just stable from start to finish. So I do really wonder if we're right about this.
Thank you. That's like it's like the nicest compliment, actually.
What I really
I've
like
heard.
about sorry to interrupt your tears. But what I really like about this contest, it just comes up to my mind that there are so many different approaches.
Mhm.
You know, like so many different, and even in that, you know, if you look at them like in first place, like, oh yeah, many are like seem to be similar, but then they really divide in details and what the approach is and the idea. It's really cool. Maybe one day we should review the first contest, because this makes a really interesting discussion. But
True.
yeah. Next, Psychosis, give us your final thoughts on the
which one?
P4
On what? Sorry.
place 4.
Oh, place 4. I mean, my heart wants it to be me, but there's definitely a good amount of missions. You know, like I really like. I don't know why, but I think 10 Little Taffers is gonna get it. I just think the uniqueness and looking at the engagement on the forum, I think a lot of people liked it and gave it good ratings just because of how unique it was. Even someone like me who wants the more classic thief experience, and like that mission is kind of not successful on that part. So that's why I gave it such a kind of meh rating. But other people really loved it if you read the thread. So I think that could even sneak into the top 3 if people don't like Into the Odd that much, because I've heard some people really don't like it. So
yeah, but
from us,
I think Into the Odd is like, as I said, like the most polarizing mission I can imagine.
Yeah,
because it is like a huge gap in so many things. You know, there's so many plus sides and so many minus sides if you are if you have a specific taste. You know what? I think Time for Change will win, because the people in the forums are so nice all the time. You know, that they were, it's his first entry, give him a chance. You know,
Master Builder.
Yeah, you know what? Do you actually? Every time I hear the name Master Builder, I first understand Masturbator. That is not a very clever name, Master Builder. Yeah. But these are just my weird thoughts. I think this is a good time to come to an end now.
3 hours now, yeah.
Yeah, it was an honor. Yeah, it was great to talk to you two guys. Just you guys, I missed that. And yeah, I think we had a great reason to do that. And yeah, I'm happy. Any last words before you die?
Next, finish your mission already. All right. You know,
we need some help.
You know, all this talk about Drawmed and mission making, make your own. All right, like finish it.
It's okay. I don't think it's gonna happen. Sadly, it's just so much work. I could release.
I'll do it for you.
The one that I have, but
guys,
we'll see.
But yeah, you guys can clear that, make that clear later. So thank you, Taffers, for listening, and consider the idea we had about a possible contest. I think, yeah, we should work on that. So thank you guys for being part of this, Psychosis and Nax, and thank you guys for listening. It was a pleasure, and see and hear and listen and whatever next time. Bye. Next, please say goodbye. It's
good. So yes, sir. Sir, goodbye.
It's very impolite. Damn it.